All right, so it is 1:00 p.m. and just because this is an organizational meeting, as the CAO, I will start the meeting off formally, and then as the chair, I will then turn it over to our mayor once we do the oath of office. So I just wanted to, first of all, welcome everybody to this special and important day. And it's nice to see we have some family members, and I haven't met everybody yet, so I'm looking forward to that part as well. I am Molly Fighton. I'm the CAO with the town of Smoky Lake, and I think we have a few guests that are online as well, including Bruce and Bruce. We just haven't met formally in that capacity, so welcome online as well. And to just start with the land acknowledgement, the town of Smoky Lake respectfully acknowledges that we are situated on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional lands of First Nations and Métis people. I wanted to begin by doing a round of formal introductions. So we do have some members of administration in the room as well. And then we also have a few members that are in the middle section of our office just for capacity in this room. I just asked them to cuddle in the area, and then we'll just bring them in briefly to introduce them as well. And so I introduced myself, but why don't we start across the table with Marianne?
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Marianne Prosky-Zarewski.
Dan Goldlock.
Welcome, my name is Tegan Scar.
Oh, okay. We are the Ross-Chuck clan. We're to support Nestor, Callum, Derek, Weston, and Stucky.
Crystal Bricks,
Your position?
Assistant CAO, and I'm unable to talk today. Not frozen.
We'll just go this way and then we'll go back.
Carly Warchowski, I'm Legislative Services Clerk.
Nestor Rosachuk.
Rick Bellucci.
Michael Steve.
Betty Rose Chickle, Sergeant and Youth Officer.
Rochelle Anya, FCSS.
We'll just bring the other admin staff that we have currently in the office anyways. 2 seconds.
So, we could go online as well.
Yeah. Bruce, do you want to start with the online introduction?
Do I want to, what was that?
Introduce yourself.
Introduce myself, Bruce Churn.
We have Pat, I can see Pat's name online. Or, we don't, it's okay, if people online don't want to introduce us, guys, that's all.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, quite.
So we'll start, we're just doing formal introductions, so Cheryl, you can start.
Hi, most of you guys may know me already. I'm Cheryl Snyder, and I'm the municipal clerk, accounts payable, front end. Deal with. That's cool.
What else, all you have to do is your name and title, that's fine, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, see, I can be here all day.
Hi, I'm Pam Rute, I'm the Development Officer.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susanna Eldridge. I work with FCSS. I'm Child and Youth Development Facilitator.
Oh, I'm Ashley Bricks. I'm lead hand Public Works.
John, Public Works Manager.
Tegan Tochniak, gas utility operator / operator.
Tamara Fondra, accounting clerk, which means taxes, utilities, and AR.
Hello, I'm Robert Winning. I'm Public Works labor operator.
I'm Vanessa Penny and I'm a summer student.
Yeah, okay. So I know we missed the whole round of, our room is really tight, and so thank you for introducing yourselves to the admin team. Is there anybody missing? I think everybody's here today, so. Okay. So to start the swearing in ceremony, we will have a oath of office document for all of the councillors and mayor being sworn in today. And so we will just do them individually, and we can form a line just kind of by the door there. And then where Marianne is sitting, we will station, there is the Bible there for people to put their right hand on the Bible, and then hold the oath, the document in your left hand. And then just to read through that. And then it's just your formal commitment written out loud, and then everybody will then sign off on the oath of office documents. Yes, yeah, we did, yeah. Is there any questions though before we start? I mean, people are welcome to, I believe, is everybody okay if pictures are taken? Just taken? So the order of the oath of office, and then Bruce, we have you online. What we'll do is, does he have a copy? Okay. So Bruce, with yours, recognizing that you are online, we are able to do yours formally on our first regular council meeting date as well. So
Okay,
it's up to you if you want, I can quickly just send that over by email so you have it in front of you in person. We do have it printed off on like a letterhead. If you want, you can do that now or you can do that later. It's just as long as you have that signed before doing official duties as council, so you could make a verbal commitment and we can indicate that you had made that commitment virtually on the stage and then do the physical signing at the council meeting date if that works for you.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Do it virtually, yeah.
Yeah, we can read it out loud. If you can't hear it being said out loud here, we can do that for you and then you can put your hand up and make the oath.
Okay.
Or,
You can text it.
yeah. Okay, perfect. So the, we're going to start with oath of office for Mayor Marianne Prosky-Zaruski. So if you want to stand.
And then it's more doing.
Okay.
So you can read that.
I, Marianne Prosky-Zaruski, swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability, execute according to the law, the office of mayor for the municipality of the town of Smoky Lake in accordance with the Oaths of Office Act, revised statutes of Alberta 2000, and number 1 through 6.
You can, if you wanna read it, you can, if you don't, you just go to 1 through 6.
So that I am a Canadian citizen, that I am not in any way disqualified from holding the office of councillor, that I have not, nor will I have, while holding office, any interest directly or indirectly in any contract or services connected with the said municipality, except such as I may lawfully have under the provisions of the Municipal Act, that I have not by myself or any other person knowingly employed any bribery, corruption, or intimidation to gain my election, that I will not, without due authority in that behalf, disclose or make known any matter that comes to my knowledge by reason of my office, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of my office, and I will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters, so help me God.
Well done. That's a lot to read out loud.
I will, thank you, and I will take the chair. Yeah, okay. And at this time, I would like to invite Councillor Dan Kodlak to come up. That's the chair of the way.
Fine.
I just, Commissioner.
Right hand.
Sure. I, Daniel Kovak, swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the office, the law, and office of councillor for the municipality of the town of Smoky Lake in accordance with the Oath of Office Act. Revised statutes, Alberta 2000. And I swear of 1 to 6. So help me God.
Here.
Thank you, Councillor Cordla.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Mr. Nestor Rosicek, Councillor Nestor Rosicek.
I, Nestor Rosicek, swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of councillor for the municipality of Town of Smoot-Lake in accordance with the Oath of Office Act, revised statutes of Alberta 2000, and that I am a Canadian citizen, that I am not in any way disqualified from holding the office of councillor, that I have not, nor will I have, while holding office, any interest directly or indirectly in any contract or services connected with the said municipality. Except such as I may lawfully have under the provisions of the municipal act. That I have not by myself or any other person knowingly employed any bribery, corruption, or intimidation in my election. That I will not, without due authority in that behalf, disclose or make known any matter that comes to my knowledge by reason of my office, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of my office and will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in public matters. So help me God.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Unless your family wants a picture or anything while I'm signing.
Oh, sure, thanks. Yeah.
Beautiful, thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Thank you. I didn't shake your hand, so all the best. I'd like to invite Councillor Tegan Spartash.
I, Tegan Sparks, swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law of office of councillor for the municipality of the town of Smoky Lake, in accordance with the Oaths of Office Act, revised statutes of Alberta 2000, and I swear items 1 to 6, so help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations. And at this time, I'm going to invite Councillor Bruce Churn to read the oath. If you just lift your right hand and recite the oath, we'll swear you in.
It's in your chat.
Were you able to access it, Bruce?
Did you send it? Did you send it to Patty?
I sent it in his Zoom chat.
So in the meeting chat, there's that little window to the right.
Oh,
Right here. That one?
no.
Text it to you.
Oh, right there.
When you're ready, go ahead, Councillor Churn.
Okay. I, Bruce Churn, swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of the councillor for the municipality of the town of Smoky Lake in accordance with the Oaths of Office Act, revised status of Alberta 2000, and that I am a Canadian citizen, that I am not in any way disqualified from holding office of a councillor, that I have not, nor will I have while holding office. Oops, hang on. Yeah. Will I hold office? I am not in any way disqualified from holding the office of councillor, that I have not, nor I will have any, while holding office, any interest directly or indirectly in any contract of services connected with the said municipality, except such as I may lawfully have under the provisions of the Municipal Act. That I have not by myself or any other person knowingly employed any bribery, corruption, or intimidation to gain my election. That I will not, without due authority in that behalf, disclose or make known any matter that comes to my knowledge by reason of office, and that I will faithfully perform my duties of my office and will not allow any private interest or influence my conduct in public matters, so help me God.
Thank you, Councillor Churn, and congratulations.
Thank you.
So at this time, I'd like to welcome new people, and I'm looking forward to all of us working together in the next 4 years. At this point of the meeting, I'd encourage everyone and feel everyone is invited to stay for the duration of the meeting. I'd like to call a 2-minute recess, and those that are leaving can bid us good luck and leave and thank you for your time. I'm gonna get ready. So we're going to come out of recess and resume the meeting at 1:20. And before we move on in the agenda, Sergeant Doctor would just like to have a few words for new council or the room.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, Marianne. No, I just want to welcome the new council starting in this journey for the next 4 years of the town. I hope that we can continue our great working relationship that we do have with council from the previous one. You know, it is a battle with crime within the community, whether it's the county or the towns or the villages, and it all takes a collaborative working together to fight it. So I just hope that we can continue that relationship, and I wish you good luck for the next 4 years. And you know, my phone is always on, and the door is always open, and we got coffee and candy at the office. And if you ever need anything, you know, feel free to drop by. And also, I will be at the next meeting with some stats for you guys. I do, as Marianne is aware, I do come on a regular basis to your guys' council meetings, usually once a quarter, just to give you kind of an update. We're always around. And maybe your CAO will let you go early. We do have a donut with the cop today between 3 and 5 at the bakery. So, all right, guys, we'll see you later.
Okay, so we do have an item under 1.7, but what I'd like to do at this time is before we can table that to the end of the meeting or thereof, I'd like to move forward on actually, you know what? That's for housekeeping. I'm going to take number 1.7, and with agreement of council, Town of Smoky Lake Council Covenant, I would like to make a motion to table it to after number 5, new business in the agenda. Can I get the support of council? All in favor? The motion is carried. So at this time, 2.1, the adoption of the agenda, subject to additions and deletions. I'd like to go around the room if anyone would have any additions or deletions. Please, we'll add them to the agenda if all in agreement. So myself, I would like to add, we received in our agenda package, we received 2 bylaws and a policy. So I'm going to, so that we can speak on behalf of them, I'm going to enter them into 4.1 under policies, or sorry, 4.2, policy A14, 4.3, procedural bylaw, 4.4, CAO bylaw. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to adopt the agenda with the additions. Okay, Councillor Kudlak has the motion. Any other discussion or additions? Okay, we're going to vote on it. All in favor? The motion is carried to adopt the agenda. So moving on to number 3.1, the appointments for deputy mayor. And the way this is done is we'll call for nominations from the floor. And it is a 1-year term as per our procedural bylaw. Every year on our organizational meeting, you will be doing this, but you could let your name stand. A total of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, so. Opening the floor for nominations for the deputy mayor.
Nominate Bruce Chern.
Bruce, do you accept? Sorry, you know what I'm gonna do? I'll do first call for nominations of the deputy mayor.
I'd actually prefer to nominate Dan Kulak.
Okay, well, and there we go. So we have first call for nominations for the deputy mayor, Dan Kudla. Would you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to call a second time for nominations of the deputy mayor. Making direct eye contact with Nestor and Tegan if they're interested in that position. So I will do the third and final call for any other nominations from the floor for the deputy mayor. Okay, I'd like a motion to cease nominations for the deputy mayor. Councillor Rosacek has that that motion. All in favor? Nominations have ceased. And by acclamation, we are going to appoint Deputy Mayor Dan Kodlak. And at this time, we will take the oath.
Okay. Smart.
Assuming that you accept. And then so you know what to do there.
I, Daniel Kodlak, swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability, execute accordance to law, the office of deputy mayor for the town of Smoky Lake in the province of Alberta for the term of 1 year in accordance with section 125 subsection 1 of the Municipal Government Act, revised status, Alberta 2022, chapter M-26. And I swear.
Thank you and congratulations. Get you to sign this in front of Carly.
And you sign it too.
Carly, can we shut that? Or just a little bit anyways?
Sorry. Thank you. Did you want to?
Oh.
Carly?
I just got sent an email where there's this new blank list of all affinity.
Thank you. Okay, so that's also right in the agenda pack.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, council.
Thank you, Dan.
So some of the standard operating for the organizational meeting is moving on to 3.2, the appointment of the financial institution and the signing authorities. So there's a recommendation in front of us on page 10. We can go in counterclockwise if you'd like to, if Councillor Scarp, if you'd like to take that motion based on the recommendation in front of you on page 10.
Sorry, I'm just finding that. I'm just trying to navigate
That's okay.
using, maybe I do need paper copy.
No.
I'm like,
Okay, I shouldn't put you on the spot like that either, sorry.
Wait. Sure, if you click on that link, that's okay. Open that one.
oh, and then the page is
Show
there.
your
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have to learn how to do that. I was trying to just go over it last night.
Yeah.
And then you'll
So
have the motion on the page.
Okay, so I go back to the, I guess I go back to this is like
That's the
the
agenda.
agenda.
It's all of them have.
Everybody
It's highlighted.
and then it's the page number. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
And so the recommendations that's laid out will typically form the motion, so that's the motion you'd be making, or council can choose to amend it.
Amended. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So Mary Ann, sorry, you were asking me if I.
Yeah, if, so on page 10, that's the RFD, the request for decision.
Yeah.
And administration has prepared a recommendation for us. So going in a counterclockwise order, it's, if you'd like to make the motion or the recommendation on page 10.
Or if you have questions,
Do I just say I would like to make the motion?
and you just read it out,
Represented?
if you like it how it's laid out, you would read it out as.
Okay, I'd like to make the motion that the town of Smoky Lake continue to designate Alberta Treasury Branch in Smoky Lake as the town of Smoky Lake's financial institution for municipal business and appoint Mary Ann Prosky mayor and Dan Kodlek, deputy mayor, together with Molly Fighton, chief administrative officer, and Crystal Bricks, assistant CAO, to have signing authority on behalf of the town of Smoky Lake effective October 29th, 2025.
Thank you. So before calling the question to the motion, is there any discussion? Any questions or comments? All in favor? The motion is carried. Councillor Churn, are you, would you, moving on to 3.3, we're under professional appointments. We have 3 motions in front of us to appoint the assessor, the legal, and the development officer. Are you technologically available to make the first motion?
I don't have anything.
I never got the package.
We never got the package for that.
Oh, okay. So, okay, so what I'll do is I'll read it and then Councillor Churn will be making the motion to move that the town of Smoky Lake appoint Mike Krim, assessor, Tamar Consulting Incorporated, as the designated officer to carry out the functions, duties, and powers of a municipal assessor for the 2025 tax year for the town of Smoky Lake. Any discussion?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
What does the municipal assessor do?
Okay, so I can answer the question, but I'm going to default to admin and go ahead. So annually, there's assessments done, and that's how taxes are arrived, but we have a firm, and so we take our mill rate, we do the assessed value, and then we come up with your tax number.
That's all I would have said.
Okay.
Since you have anything for-
Quite a few.
Okay, so I'm channeling that inner admin voice. So,
Very clear,
yeah.
very clear, yes, Kate.
So Councillor Churn, any questions or discussion comments? Okay, I'm calling the question. All in favor? The motion is carried. Motion number 2, Councillor Rosachek.
Motion number 2, that the town of Smoky Lake appoint Brownlee LLP, Reynolds, Mirth, Richards, and Farmer LLP, Alberta Council, and Kuzik and Mall Law Office as the solicitors for the town of Smoky Lake.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion, comments, questions?
Do most municipalities have 2 bodies who work together, like 2 law firms who work together? Or is it just, why do we have 2?
Okay, so in our case, we have 3. So there could be some potential conflicts of interest, or if, say, another agency that we're working with is using one of the law firms, we have a default to go to someone else. And each law firm represents something that they specialize with their team. Maybe Alberta Council is more for HR, or I'm not saying they are, but in certain conditions, there is it's an opportunity to have options. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more discussion, comments, questions? Seeing none and hearing none, calling the question, all in favor? The motion is carried. Motion number 3, I move that the town of Smoky Lake appoint Pam Rothier. And hopefully I said it correctly. Rothier, okay, development officer as the subdivision and development authority officer for the town of Smoky Lake. A motion on the table. Any further discussion, comments, questions? Go ahead. I've got Nestor Rosachik, and then I've got Dan Kodlak. Go ahead.
Is she new to us?
No, we just met her. She's been with the organization for just under a year now.
It's under a year.
So she was the second lady that introduced herself. Okay, she does the planning and development for the town and works with the county, and so
Okay.
works in conjunction with the Municipal Planning Commission as well, which is a council appointed board. So, and then there's also always the ability to pull in external expertise if there's something like outside of that jurisdiction that we need to utilize.
Does she have a say in what happened at Coquitlam with the old home there?
That could be a side conversation that we could get to at maybe our first meeting or but thank you for that. Any more discussion on the motion? Seeing none and hearing none, I'm gonna call the question. All in favor? The motion is carried. Thank you. Counselor Churn, we're okay?
Yeah, I voted.
Thank you.
Quick, sure, sorry, I just wanted to ask, were you able to pull up the agenda package? Carly resent it.
Yeah, Patty's,
But what are you working on? There's 3 attachments, policy A, bylaw 002 and bylaw 13. That's the
Yes.
only 3 attachments I got.
Click the link, it'll bring you to an external website, which is called iCompass, and that has our agenda software on it.
Should we ask Hank?
The link.
Smoky Lake meeting information.
That link? Okay.
So, would you?
Yeah, I didn't, I apologize. I did not get this information in advance. Okay, so we are on,
So we're going to move on to number 4, bylaw and policy, but Patty, would you like a minute just to?
no, that's fine. Got it right here. Bylaw and policy number 4.
can you put it here?
No, but you can read it off my iPad.
So the consensus is that if you need a minute, we can call a short recess, get you sorted.
No, we're good.
No, we're good here.
Okay. Okay, thank you. At this time, before we go into the bylaw and policy review and new business, I'd like to table sections 4 and 5, following section number 6. I'd like to move into the appointments of the council committees, if everyone would be in agreement of that. And I think it would tie into the order of the agenda, so.
Can you just repeat that for me, just because I'm trying to process what you're saying?
Okay.
So when you say you're gonna table something, just put it later on in the meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
We will address it out of order. So we're creating a new order in terms of the organizational meeting. One of the priorities is to assign the committees. And I think that we can do the other pending business after.
Okay.
So is that okay with our admin? Okay, so I have a motion. All in favor of tabling it? The motion is carried. Number 6.1, appointment of the committees and council committees and boards and commissions. What I'd like to do, and I think this would be the most democratic method. We have a list in front of us that admin has prepared, and thank you for doing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 6 rounds of council selection out of order, and we will start with alphabetical order. Each council will pick their priority committee. And round 2, we'll do a reverse alphabetical order, so it's very democratic. And you can, at this time, you can pick which is, let's say, your favorite, or what you have transferable skills that you want to bring to the table, or what you've done in a past life that would have strengths, and you can contribute to the committee that benefits the town the best. Is there any is there anyone not understanding the process? Okay, so there might be some flipping back pages and everything, but at this time, Councillor Churn, what would be your first choice for your committee, either primary or alternate? And if you could go ahead, please.
I would like to do the Physicians and Healthcare Professionals Committee.
Okay, so right now, I'm going to speak against that. Right now, the way the bylaw stands, by default, it's the mayor and the deputy mayor. And
Okay.
it's a, so the bylaw is in a work in progress, so I'm not gonna say, no, you can't, but just not right now, you can't. So
Okay,
I have your second default choice.
okay, my second then is I'll look, Smoky Lake Pumpkin Growers Association.
Okay, so I'm gonna vote you off the island right away. So I'm saying, no, you're not gonna take that one either because we're looking at the priorities. And so, not that the pumpkin fair is not a valued contribution to our community and what we do here, but it is a volunteer committee. So I'd like to
Okay.
you pick between, say, Evergreen, the Water Commission, Municorps, or
Okay,
Intermission.
yeah, what about the ICC, the Intermunicipal Collaboration Committee?
and that's not, yeah, that's perfect. So that's your first choice.
Okay.
Thank you. Wink, wink. Thank you, Councillor Chern. Moving on alphabetical order is Councillor Kodlak.
I'll take on Evergreen Waste Management. I sat on it 2 terms prior. I understand it needs work.
Thank you very much. And you don't have to sell me.
Nope, sorry.
Bruce had to, but that's okay. Sorry. Do you see where this is going already? I don't know. Okay, so now alphabetical order is myself. So I would pick the Smoky Lake Foundation, please. If that's okay with the rest of council. I previously sat on there and I feel that I can contribute to the work that's being done. I have some, I'm very passionate for the seniors in our community, so I'd like to advocate on their behalf.
You're selling us.
Yeah, I had to. So, Councillor Rosachek, your first choice, please.
Top of the list, I might as well start there, Capital Region Assessment Services.
Okay. Do you need to sway me why you should be on that one, or is
Not
it
really,
just-
not really, just as I read through this, I think, well, you know,
Okay.
I would sooner went on the foundation, but.
Well,
Are you gonna appoint an alternate? Will you appoint?
you could be the alternate,
Please,
for the foundation
Yeah.
and take off, so.
oh, to take that and in place of this then that I'm asking for, or we decided later? No.
You wanna give your first choice now, and then, because as the list goes down, you're gonna get.
Yeah, we're not going alphabetical.
It'd be CRASC.
I know that.
Okay, so, okay. Do you want me to sway you or not?
Pardon me?
Do you want me to sway you or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so this committee has 1 day training session and rarely never meets, except one annual general meeting. So if that's your strength, then you're.
Well, you know, like really, this is the top of the list here, so I'll keep on, there's other stuff. Interested in too, well.
This is just an informal discussion.
Yeah.
And if you feel passionately, I'm not going to sway you. I want to be mindful, and I know you can hear this too as well, Bruce, but so in the room, there's some counselors that have family connections to certain services that we offer, and they should be encouraged maybe to swap. So I wouldn't like to see, say, for example, I wouldn't like to see Nestor Rosachik on the Evergreen,
Yeah.
or so keep that in mind.
Actually, maybe then. Maybe I should go to some of the stuffs where I could possibly be good at. Highway 2863 regional water,
That'd be good.
rather than this CR.
Now you're swaying me, okay, so are you sure that's your first choice then?
Yes.
Wink, wink, okay, so we're taking you out of.
Yeah.
Is council in agreement with that? Then we'll give Nestor a try on the Highway 2863 regional water. And that position, that committee has 2 appointed, and because of the 3 asterisks, it has an alternate, which also would be paid by the town. So keep that in mind as we go through. Now we have Councillor Scarf to complete round 1 of the alphabetical order.
Yeah, I would like to be on the Family and Community Support Services Board, please.
Okay. We're all in agreement? So Tegan will join FCSS as the primary member. That completes round one. Are we okay to move on in this method?
So double check, Carly, are you okay with the recordings of these names?
Yeah, you were off Crask, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not off the island, but off that committee. Okay, so now we're gonna start round two, your second preference and reverse alphabetical order. So we're gonna hear from you, Counselor Scarf.
Okay, so I would like to be a part of the library board. I just wanted to preface by saying that I talked to Lise and she said it worked really well in the past when the same counselor was also part of the Regional Northern Lights Library Board.
Sure.
So I'll just put my name for both of those, if
No.
possible.
No, you can't pick that till round three.
Okay.
Chances are pretty good. that we'll
Okay,
let you have
I
it.
just wanted to put that out. Wanted to put that out there, nobody else takes it.
This is true democracy, right? Bruce?
That was Northern Lights.
Library board first,
First
that's
is
number
most
one.
likely. They work in conjunction, so I think there's while we're talking about this, I'll also mention that, say, for example, it's Evergreen. So they have their meetings in St. Paul. And it works in the past, they would also in the afternoon have Lakeland DMO, which is the destination marketing. So if you're thinking of taking Evergreen, not looking at you, looking at you and Bruce, you might also want to, if that interests you as well, destination marketing through Marianne Jenke with the tourism and everything, you might consider that. If you're going to St. Paul for the day, maximize the time and don't the mileage, right? So that's for your consideration. So now we're starting round two. Tegan has taken the Smoky Lake Library and put some feelers out there to not take the Northern Light. And
Can I ask you a question before you confirm that?
certainly, go ahead.
What is Community Futures? It just seems exciting to me, but
So if we'll go ahead and we'll give you the answer to that. The explanation was
I know it was listed, but I didn't quite understand.
oh,
that
okay.
completely.
So it's a nonprofit board. Their meetings are generally not public, and if you're committing to that, you should stay on there for 4 years. And it works to help entrepreneurs, people starting a business. They do a lot of great things in terms of sponsoring events, Power Up North. They advocate for.
They offer services too, sometimes to the business community. Resume writing or helping with, you know, the CRA side of things as well. It's different in each community, but it's typically, it's a business-minded association, I guess.
And so the meetings are in St. Paul. They're made up of members from elected officials from Elk Point.
Oh, the whole region, the whole
Yeah,
Lakeland.
so quite vast, and there is a bit to learn, but they provide orientation. So a lot of the committees will have their own orientation. Some people that have been on council may have that working knowledge, but again, it's where you think that you could best contribute. So I don't want to discourage anyone.
No, that sounds so interesting to me.
Well, we're gonna.
Oh, this is too hard. I don't like this.
Do you want an additional round?
Yeah. I want extra.
Okay,
That's fine.
so are you staying with the library board?
Yeah.
Okay, Harley, we're okay then?
Yeah.
Reverse alphabetical is Counselor Rosachek.
Smoke Lake Regional Fire Rescue.
Good. Are we okay with that? Counselor Chern, you're okay with Nestor being on the fire?
Yeah.
And so then, give it to me one more time. Smoky Lake Regional Fire or
Smoke Lake Region Fire Rescue Services. That,
perfect, yep, page 43. Reverse alphabetical is now Counselor Kodlak. No, wait. You
Sure.
No,
That's
great.
went to the same school, right?
We might have all gone to those
So,
things.
I don't want to overstep, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, by default, take the physician in healthcare. So go ahead. Counselor Kodlak, you're next.
I'll take the other position with Nestor on the Water Commission.
Good choice. We're okay with that, Counselor Chern?
Yep.
There's no alternate, but then it has the 3 stars.
The 3 stars. So on the water commission, we're on page, page 39. So for the water commission, to recap, we have Nestor in as primary, Bruce in as secondary. And,
No, there's 2 appointed and then an alternate, right?
okay,
We just had Nestor and then me as a second.
Bruce is on the water commission?
There's no alternate.
Right.
But Dan, you didn't ask me first, huh?
so just to recap, sorry, Carly.
Nestor is the primary, Dan is the
Okay.
secondary.
Okay, so they're both primaries.
Bruce is the
Yeah.
ICC.
Okay, sorry. So Nestor and Dan are primaries. We still need an alternate for that committee, okay?
I don't think there's an alternate.
There's no alternate.
Are we not all looking at the same thing? On page 39, it says 2 appointed and 1 alternate with 3 stars.
Ooh,
Highway 28, water.
Yeah, top of page 39.
a lot of these have 3 stars. What's that designation then?
That means that alternates are paid by the town of Smoky Lake. They are not voting at the meetings, but they can still attend. In the event the primary is unable to attend the meeting, they're well versed in the knowledge. That board is paid by the commission. The managing partner is the county. And so you don't submit your time to the town, you're paid by the county, the commission. So are we all looking at page 39? So on the Highway 2863 Water Commission, there's 2 appointed members that I have as Nestor and Dan. And we have 1 opening for an alternate, which is also a paid position. Confirmed? Good, moving on. So Counselor. Where you put yours at the commission, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Counselor Churn, you're up. Your second choice, please.
Okay, what about Regional Community Development Committee?
Certainly, the short form of that is RCDC. And that is exactly what I was talking about on page, so it has the 3 stars. And it's on page 42 on the green. It will have 1 primary and, 3 stars, 2 appointed and 1 alternate. All 3 people can go to the meeting and be paid by the town of Smoky Lake. In the event the primary cannot attend, the alternate is well versed. Right now, the committee is not active, but I'm sure the new councils will bring it forward. Just on a side note, WSETNA has given formal notice of leaving that committee. So you would be working perhaps maybe, I'm not sure about Vilna, but you'd be working with the county and the town. So Bruce, you're the primary on RCDC, the short form. And we will now, if all in agreement, we are going to continue on round 3. And we're starting again on alphabetical order. Bruce, you're up. What is your 3rd choice?
I just wanted to point out that the links don't have the 3 stars on some of them. So like the RCDC has no 3 stars and it says no alternate.
Okay, so
I just wanted to point
if
that out.
we're all using the green pages as a workshop.
We're not, because I'm using the links that are on.
So the green pages are in the agenda package 43.
You have access to both.
Yeah, I was just pointing out that these don't, so it's helpful to have you read out and say the stars.
Okay, so that would be an administration thing.
She has access to the same one you're looking at. She just
Okay.
doesn't have that on.
I don't have it on.
Okay,
So
okay.
all I'm saying is that it's helpful that when you read
Oh,
out
okay.
all that.
Thank you. I will continue that way. Bruce, we're ready for your 3rd choice, please.
Okay, do you want me to take the alternate? Is there the alternate on oh, hang on here a sec. I think I'll take the Northeast Muni Corporation.
So we're now moving to page, thank you, Bruce. We're gonna move to page 41. And so was that not your first? Okay, so yeah, we have Bruce. So there's 1 appointed and 1 alternate. it's recommended that this is a 4-year term. And the meetings are held in St. Paul. And they're usually in. I don't know if they're. I don't know that you're able to take anything on Zoom with this committee, but that's not for me to say. So we have Bruce as the primary on that one. Are we okay to move on? Okay. Councillor Kodlak, your third choice, please.
Can I also sit with you on the foundation? As a alternate?
Yes, has that been filled already? Okay. So you, okay, so let's go to page, Smoky Lake Foundation. I'm going to call it out. It's on page 43, top of page 43. One is appointed and one is an alternate. The only voting is done through the primary, but we can align with what we think is the priorities. So of course. And in the event I'm unable to attend, you would become the voting member. So that is Councillor Kodlak's third choice. All in agreement? Okay, no one wants to arm wrestle him for that one, or, okay. Moving on to myself. I think I would take, let's go to the ICC. So right now, currently we have, it's on page 39 of the green. There would be, these are meetings held with the 4 municipalities that participate in the agreement. And they work on things like could be working on regionalization of FCSS, could be working on bylaw services. So as the need presents itself. And Carly, do we have anyone on that committee right now? Bruce. So we have Bruce as a primary appointed. I would be the second primary appointed. That still leaves an alternate available. The alternate, because there is 3 stars in your future round, there's 3 stars. You could take the meeting by Zoom as an alternate. You'd still be paid by the town of Smoky Lake. You would have that that working knowledge, but you would not be a voting member unless one of the primaries was unable to attend. Go ahead.
Quick recess, could I get the screen stuff printed? It's finding it hard to follow. Thank you. And what was that called?
ICC, which is Intermunicipal Collaboration Committee meeting. So what I'd like to do at this time, I'd like to call a 2-minute recess. So that would be at 1.
Paper is good.
Yeah, just
Like a hot.
I'd like to call the meeting back to order at 2:06. Thank you and welcome everyone. So we're starting our 3rd round with the fourth round, reverse alphabetical with Councillor Scarf.
I would like the community futures.
Okay, is everyone in agreement with that? Tegan will be on the Community Futures Board. And keep us all updated with any developments for new businesses in Smoky Lake. Perfect. Nestor, go ahead with your 4th choice.
Access siding, Smoke Lake access siding.
Okay, so that is a priority committee. And what page are we on? So that is on page 42. That is 1 appointed and 1 alternate. So Nestor is the primary. And now we go to Councillor Kodlak. No, myself. Sorry.
Does the alternate only go if the primary can't go, or can they both go?
So then you go to your chart, so where it's the asterisk, yeah, anyone can attend meetings, they're public. So if you're looking to volunteer, or if you're at home on Zoom and to gain more information, you can attend. You would be compensated financially if there is a asterisk for the alternate, as opposed to the primaries usually get paid. Okay, and we'll be going over the per diem amounts later on in the meeting, okay? Sorry. sorry, I just. So. I'm also by default, I'm on the NAGO committee, so I will leave that as my choice, the NAGO committee. And that's on the top of page 41. The acronym is for Northeast Alberta Alliance for Growth and Opportunity, and usually the mayor and the deputy mayor, but go ahead, Councillor Kodlak.
That's the one you're taking this. That one?
Mhm.
Yeah, I wanted to set them that too.
So through the terms of reference. So and then just for Councillor Scarf, and just for everybody. So some committees have MOU, a memorandum of understanding. Some committees have a bylaw, some committees have a term of reference. And that's the governing the disciplines of how that committee is run. So a commission would be different than a board, and a foundation is different. It's reporting to different ministries. So as we go along in our 4 years, you'll learn more about your organization or the committee that you sit on. There's no expectation to learn anything or everything today. It is truly a work6 So just pace yourself, and questions are always good.
Which one did Dan take? Again,
By default, as the deputy mayor, he will be on the Northeast, the NAGO as well, on top of page 41, and that was his choice. So back to Councillor Churn, you're up for your 4th choice, please.
The North Saskatchewan Watershed Alliance.
Okay, so that's on page alphabetical, it's on page 41. And that is 1 appointed and 1 alternate. So this method is democratic. So I think now maybe is a good recap of, let's go through it line by line, page by page. Some of them are all council. And unless you want to keep going another round, or if you feel that, because I've mixed up everybody, including we're good? Okay, so let's go to page number 37, Alberta Hub. I'm the only one that's appointed. I'm looking for someone as an alternate at this time.
Which one is that one?
Alberta Hub, page 37.
I thought that's one I was on. I said Alberta.
You said NAGO.
No.
No? Okay, sorry. So would you like to be the primary?
Yes.
Okay.
or
Alberta Hub, page 37.
Dan primary.
Okay, so Dan is the primary. And those meetings are quarterly, and they're run by the chair, or the contractor, so to speak, is Bob Bazelko. He does economic development throughout the region.
Take me off that last.
No, maybe neither.
Well,
That's a default, so.
well,
Page 37, we have 1 member for Alberta Hub. Dan's gonna drive. The last meeting was in Smoky Lake, so he could be driving to Vermilion or anything because he's driving. Would anyone else like to hop in the vehicle with him? I'm
I
looking
could go
for
on
an
that
alternate.
one.
Okay, Bruce, you're gonna be the alternate, okay? And Carly's gonna kind of keep everything so that we're even, so that one counselor is not serving on 10 committees and one counselor is only serving on 4. Let's keep it wherever I think we can work together, and we can shift or we can pivot as need be. So then we're going to go on to Alberta Lakeland Destination Marketing. Usually after Evergreen. So to recap, for Evergreen, we have Dan and did we have Bruce or no?
We didn't have an alternate chosen for that one.
Just Dan.
Okay. Okay, so sorry, I'm sorry if I'm very disorganized. Let's nail that down now, because Evergreen to me is one of those important committees. So at this time, do we have So Dan is the primary. Can we appoint an alternate?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes. Who would like to be the alternate on the other? Sorry,
I can,
and Nestor's bowing out,
that's there.
correct?
I
So-
could be.
So you're gonna go for the library and the
Yeah.
community futures. I'm looking at Bruce. Can you be on that one,
Yeah.
Bruce?
I could, yeah.
And not, I'm not showing favoritism.
Sure not, no, I didn't.
So. So that's confirming on page 38, we have Dan, primary, Bruce alternate. And now we're going back to page 37. Does that impact Alberta? Or sorry, does that impact, yeah, Alberta Lakeland DMO? We'll put Dan as the primary and Bruce as the alternate.
For that one as well?
Yeah, because if they're in St. Paul, Dan's gonna buy lunch and then they can stay for the other meeting.
there,
How's that?
a buddy burger.
Okay.
Just one.
So with community, back on page 37, we're at community futures, we have Tegan. There was some. On our green sheets, we have 2 appointed. And the way it stands right now, it's under review, because we would have a public member at large. And only 1 appointed, so admin can correct me if we're going to leave it as 2 appointed or. Sorry.
So you're saying that
As
this is
community
gonna go back
futures.
to 1 rather than 2, right?
There was the committee itself had to look at doing things a little differently, and I don't want to expand on that as much. But for now, I think we'll leave it as 1 for community futures, and if there is a public member at large, it's not necessarily a member of council, but it could be someone that,
So it's just a volunteer, sorry, I think you have to expand on this for me, because I'm not
Okay.
understanding.
so what I'm gonna do, page 37,
Yes.
where it says community futures, we're
Yeah.
going to get admin and all of us to change where it says 2 appointed, we're only going with 1 appointed. Okay. And there's some board requirements with that, and that's why I'm covering off on that, okay? So then we're moving on to page 3 or 37, still Capital Region Assessment Services. And I know Councillor Rossachuk was quite passionate about that, and now he's giving me the.
Would you recommend it for me or,
So here's the thing. If you read the second paragraph, it's appointed annually, and the requirement is that you attend a 1-day training and a 1-day AGM in Edmonton.
will be it,
Okay, you can do that,
will be it.
okay? And I don't believe it needs an alternate, but we did in the past have an alternate because it was Councillor Morton and myself, right? So it is a good idea to have Nestor's driving, so if anyone wants to jump in and go to Edmonton for that craft board. Looking around the room. Bruce, Dan? Okay, I'll sign up as the alternate. Moving on to page 38. We have everything in place for Evergreen, 1 appointed, 1 alternate, Dan, Bruce. Family FCSS, alternate, or sorry, 1 appointed, Tegan, looking for an alternate. The green sheet is 1 appointed, 1 alternate. And there are 3 stars, so I'm not sure that the town is paying for 2 members to sit on the board.
I could sit on that one.
Oh, no,
Oh.
let him,
Go ahead.
No, Bruce, you wanna go with, that's fine with me.
no, go ahead, Nestor.
Go ahead, Nestor, take that one.
Okay.
Okay. No arm wrestling? Okay. So then on the gas bed, which normally, the previous council didn't really participate in zone meetings or any conferences, but it is by default all council. And then we move on to Go East Tourism. I sat on that one previously, and they didn't have any meetings. They just put out the annual guide, so it was a little disappointing, but I think we pay a membership, so it's important to have someone assigned in the event that they change their patterns and have meetings.
Just got a notice for an AGM on that one.
Okay.
So I can share it. I don't know what else they do though, yeah, so.
Yeah, so they do, it's a tourism.
But is it just the AGM then on that one?
Well, they would have regular board meetings, they were just taking a break.
Okay,
And they were working on the Go East, the passport. And they work in conjunction with Lakeland DMO and
mm-hmm,
so I'm looking for one appointed and one alternate. I can be the primary and I can drive and someone can. One of me, they're rarely in Smoky Lake.
And we go east,
Yeah, Go East.
okay, I'll be your phone.
Okay, it'll be my sidekick or shotgun. Okay, so we're now moving on to page 39. And just to recap on the Highway Water Commission. That is a commission, so you're paid by the board or the commission, the managing partner is the county. I don't know if I can tell you any more. We have Nestor and we have Dan. We're looking for an alternate.
I can alternate on that one.
Okay. And I would strongly encourage you, Councillor Churn, for the first while, if it's within our budget, that you do attend the meetings. Because you're, as an alternate, you would be paid by the town, not the commission. The two primaries are paid by the commission. So where it has the 3 stars, that's what it means. Just helping to explain it for clarification. So please at least attend the orientation, or if there's a tour, so you would see all the water plants from Thorhild, Radway, Egremont to Whitefish. So it's an important committee and
That's a clarification question. I think I asked this, but I'm still not understanding. So for every meeting, there's one appointed, so let's say FCSS, I will go. If I cannot go, that's when the alternate would go? Or can the alternate and myself, the appointed, go and both get paid? Or is it just where there's stars,
the 3 stars, both get paid.
2 people get paid?
Yeah, so
But if there wasn't the 3 stars on FCSS, then only I could go, but if I didn't go, then Nestor would go.
yeah, you should have, the expectation is you would have that communication with him and say, well, there's a meeting coming up, I'm not feeling well, or whatever that is, please be aware that
I think my question is just clarifying so that I wouldn't have to, let's say I am the alternate for a committee. I don't have to go to that meeting unless, of course, the appointed has contacted me, said, I'm not feeling well, can you go?
Okay, so to speak to that, and then I'll get you to speak to that as well. I volunteered for committees, I had time and I wanted the knowledge, so I would zoom in and so it's totally up to you. As the alternate, there is some expectation, but not as much as the primary. Does that help clarify it? Or
Yeah, I think I'm just seeking clarification because I need to know for my scheduling with the millions of things on, like we all have on our schedule, what are the meetings that I must be attending?
The primary.
If I'm the primary, the appointed, okay.
But what you should do at the beginning of all of this is get yourself familiarized with all the committees, if you're an alternate
Totally,
or you're at the very end.
and I totally agree with that, I just wanna make
Just so
sure
you
that
get
I'm
a
not,
feel,
yeah.
what exactly the committee is, the scope of it, you'll give the introduction and you'll give you the feel of the room and see exactly the business of that form of committee.
I totally agree with that, I just, for me, I'm just wanting to know what are my clear expectations, I just need to know that, because of course, as much as I wanna go to all the, everything, there's just restrictions in my life, so I need to know what I have to go to, what are things that, just how it all works.
There's lots of time between midnight and 3 in the morning.
Exactly, I was thinking, log on to Zoom, okay,
That's-
perfect.
It's overrated. Right? Okay, thank you. And that's, everybody's clear?
As mud.
Okay. So we are, where did you go? Okay,
We're on 39.
Thank you.
ICC.
yeah, so for ICC, I have, I don't think this is right, but I think that there is 2 appointed that are paid and one of the alternates is not.
yeah, I can double check that for you.
And how active is that committee this last little while?
It's supposed to be about quarterly. As Mayor Proskauer mentioned, we are working on some designated regional discussion items, so it might be a little bit more frequent than most. But I think the intent's quarterly. From what I've been seeing. To meet.
As the need, or as there is something that's.
Yeah, I just wanted to know what was the measurement of your successes with the.
Oh,
Well, here's how that works. If I can give you the Coles notes.
Sure.
It is somewhat grant funded. And so some of the projects like regional fire transitional services was through a grant. So some of it is project based, not always easy to measure, but the managing partner is the county. And it is the two villages, the town and the county. So we are obligated to participate. And we have one vote at the table. The voting method is debatable, but the village has one, both villages, so it's important. To measure it, I don't know.
Okay.
Let's talk about this in a year from now and you'll tell me how you measured it.
Okay, I'll sit as one of the primaries.
Well, we have
Second.
myself and Bruce.
Oh, you got,
Oh,
okay,
Okay,
This is an alternate.
and I can be the alternate.
okay. Okay, so now the way it stands is there is 3 stars. So admin will confirm that. Okay, we're gonna move on to page 40. And I think I'm gonna take this one off the table. It was a subcommittee of the ICC. The first one is called the ICC Intermunicipal Collaboration Committee, Ad Hoc Working Committee for Housing Opportunities. It was a subcommittee from the ICC, which was never really recognized in the terms of reference. So no one will be sitting on this. And if there's something that arises, it can be done through the ICC, or a subcommittee can be formed thereafter the fact with the same members.
So it's as needed right now.
It's off the table.
No, it's as
Yeah.
needed or.
Okay, sure. And so then the next one is the joint municipalities. That is the responsibility of all council.
Okay.
Again, the county is the managing partner. They prepare the agendas. Our admin participates in the meetings as well. They're quarterly and we rotate. We will be the host once a year. And they're usually held wherever the host decides, and we contribute to the menu or the selection for the dinner. It's attended by the school trustee, the MLA, sergeant doctor, and so that's what that looks like. So this is the JUPA committee, which is the school one. I don't have anyone here. And what this is, the requirement now is we are creating agreements with our Aspen View. There is one due June of this year. So it would be good to have, so as a background, I sat on it last term. In 4 years, we didn't have not one meeting. So that gives you some gauge with, the agreement has to take place between Thorhild County and Aspen View and the Smoky Lake County where the schools are involved. And somewhat with Setna being that it's the Catholic school division. So any questions or I'm looking for
I can go on that.
2
What
appointed.
do you think?
I think you'd be really good at it,
Thank you.
because your wife's a teacher and she'll tell you what to do.
No,
A retired
so
teacher.
nothing's changed, but Betty being a sub, that will.
It's not a conflict.
No, okay.
So it's just working on the agreements that are due June 10th, so.
Be on that one.
Okay, Tegan, good. Alternate,
I thought Nestor is.
oh,
Nestor and me.
Nestor's the primary, Tegan's the primary, I can be the alternate. And. Good, so let's move on to, and this one's a little bit tricky. I'm gonna suggest that right now, the MCC, it's a municipally controlled corporation. So it has gone through a material change. And there are, very similar to the mineral rights, there's annual meetings that we are all shareholders. I don't know that we need 2 people appointed. Pull up some information on that. Right?
I could sit on that one.
I was council of whole.
I'll get Bruce and Dan then. How's that?
I thought it was all council, no?
It was Mel and Amy and then the corporation. So. Okay, I got Bruce and Dan, we will move on. Thank you, Molly, we won't need that. My recommendation for the Municipal Planning Commission, and this might be a discussion, a wider discussion amongst us. Currently, we have 2 appointed, 1 alternate, and a member at large, Ben Evans. His term is until 2027. So I've seen other municipalities have all council be representatives of this committee. And that the meetings are held in conjunction with the council meeting, they call it recess. The risk is you should not have anyone on the subdivision board. But the benefit is that council is actually making the decision, because this is for new buildings, permits, development. And I think it might cost the town a little bit of money to do this, but it's important that council's making the decision and steering the ship and
Have input.
yeah, and chances are we might not all be available for that particular meeting. But our development officer is leading this, and the town does their own, as does the county. I've just seen that the trend is now municipalities are doing their own MPC board. They're taking responsibility for those decisions. So that would be my recommendation. I don't know if I have the blessing of admin, but
Yeah, just to speak to that, I think, I believe that would be currently specified in the NPC bylaw, so it just might be a matter of if we wanted to go that route, we would need to make sure that it's updated to reflect that going forward. You might wanna honor current terms, that's another thing just to be mindful of. I do know that it can sometimes weaken the stance if something was to go to an appeal board. Just because there could be perception of the decisions lying with solely council of perhaps unfairness. It's up for council to discuss. I've seen both ways running that way. We would probably want some time to look at that and make sure our bylaws reflect the direction going forward.
go ahead.
I struggled with this in the past, and I believe that the segregation between council of putting people in different positions and making it an argument within the chamber of representation. I still think that for the MPC should be actually council of the whole. It's a decision-making process right from the beginning. I understand the arguments later down the road, but we're here to do the right thing for the benefit of the community, right? So we're not here to make things go wrong.
So
So that's my argument on the.
And thank you for that. I think just this is our first discussion about it. And now knowing that we have the bylaw, if we're in accordance with our bylaw, that we give it to admin to take away and bring back to the first meeting, we wouldn't assign anyone just yet. Or is there anything outstanding? Is there anything that would be coming to MPC in the next month?
For the first MPC meeting, because we do have some requests that are on the table, so we were looking at, once we talked about the meetings, I wanted to touch base on the first MPC meeting. And at that point, we are going to need to do some kind of orientation, including a review of the bylaw. So that could be potential time to discuss that and then bring that forward back to council to have that, because as it stands right now, there's an appointment of 3 council members and 1 public member.
Yeah, 1 member at large, 3 members of council.
So I'm just, from an administrative perspective, I just wanted to share kind of in my mind what the risks could be, but there could be more, there could be.
Okay, so I think what we'll do right now, it was my desire for this council to have all of council, but in keeping with the bylaw, we're going to appoint two, we're gonna appoint two council and one alternate, and then we will bring it back for review of the bylaw and some orientation. If everyone's getting trained, if 3 people out of 5 are getting trained, we're gonna train everybody so that if we need to pivot at a later date, when Mr. Evans' term is expired, we will do so, or if there's any other thing that we were going to look at for voting members. So is it my understanding that each person that attends the meeting gets a vote and there's 3 votes, or? So 3 votes, and then someone of whoever's going to put their name up for this, they were going to either assume the role of chair, and the 2 others are directors. So someone's chairing this meeting, so.
There's chair, vice chair, and member at large.
Okay. So everyone will have a job to do, so who's going to sign up for this?
I would like.
I could go, number 2.
I'm gonna,
I'll go.
okay, so Tegan, do you feel that you would be comfortable in being the alternate if Bruce and Nestor were, or do you feel that you want to?
Sure. Yeah, I'm tracking the numbers here too, and I only have 2 appointments. And you guys are all up in 5 or 6. So I just want to make sure that it's
Okay.
not.
So you have FCSS, Community Futures, the library, Smoky Lake Public Library. And then
But just so far, I'm just tracking it as we're going.
okay.
You wanna take that?
Okay, so
Up to you.
With the MP, we're still talking about MPC. If I can add, MPC is a little bit unique. If you're, willing to educate yourself, and we do try to have some members that have a little bit of like planning background or experience, so it's just, we can provide the orientation, you might wanna take a little bit additional webinars, or even spend some time going through stuff with our planning or development officer to get.
I'm happy for if you guys feel like you have more experience, Bruce and Nestor, that's totally fine. It's just something that was interesting to me, but I'm happy to let it go to Bruce and Nestor.
It's a bit more technical, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, that's all. You're able to learn, of course, it's just a little bit extra for that.
Yeah.
okay, so I think I'd like to see Bruce and Tegan on it, and then Nestor as an alternate, but I don't want to overstep on anyone's toes. I didn't realize you were tracking it like that, so that's good to know as well. How does that work?
If Tegan, you want it, like,
I mean, I definitely think that it's something I'd be interested in, but if you feel more passionate about it, you let me know.
mention me as alternate.
Sure, and then
Okay, yep.
we're still gonna look at admin,
Yep.
bringing back the bylaw and
Okay.
having this, having the discussion. And going from there.
And Nestor's the alternate, okay.
So we've got Bruce and Tegan, and then as the primary, and then we have Nestor as the alternate, and the member at large remains the same, Mr. Ben Evans. Okay, moving on to page 41. So for the NAGO by default, it's myself as the primary and Deputy Dan as the alternate, or if I'm driving, he can jump in with me. And we'll go with that. For moving on to Northeast Muni Corps. Harley, who do I have there? I think I just have Bruce.
Bruce is primary.
Bruce is the primary. So there's one appointed. It's a 4-year term. So where are we at with the alternate? In the event Bruce cannot make it, these are closed meetings and they have some restriction as to having alternates attend, or were you on that committee before?
Once upon a time.
What's your take on it?
I argued the last time I was there.
I think they
And
forgot.
I don't think I really got my way, but
Oh,
it was. It's just the way the structure is designed and. It became a little bit of a.
so do they allow alternates or? There was some, previous council had some. Yeah, well. Would you like to be as the alternate?
Sure,
Okay,
you'll see my face again.
Tegan's gonna, are we getting closer in the gap?
Bruce has 9, he's way ahead.
Okay, so I'm sure we're gonna be able to pull that together here and round it up a bit. Okay, so for Northern Lights, we have Tegan as appointed. Right? Okay. I'm looking for an alternate, and that could be alternate if Tegan's zooming, they could also zoom, I believe. Or if you're driving to Elk Point, that's usually where the meetings are. You're paid by the town. Yeah, you're paid by the town, not the library board. Is that correct? Sorry.
Look into that.
Yeah, it's. Okay, either way, we'll have, Tegan, I'm looking for an alternate. Bruce, you have too many. Nestor, that's not a happy face. Okay, I'll be the alternate.
Thank you.
Okay. North Saskatchewan Watershed Alliance. I got Bruce again. And now I'm looking for an alternate. They don't meet very often. Go ahead, Nestor. Dan's not arm wrestling. So thank you. And we're going to.
Sat on it before.
So Bruce is at 10, Dan's at 8, Nestor's at 7, you're at 6, I'm at 5.
Thank you for that. So now we're by default, we're on page 42 by default for the healthcare. It's right now the way the bylaw stands, and it could be different. The committee itself, the managing partner is the town. The committee has put forward a draft bylaw. It could change, but by default, it's the mayor. So that would be myself, and the deputy mayor is now down. And if it changes in the first year, we will reassess this, okay? So now we're going to RCDC, and that has the 3 asterisks, and there's 2 appointed and 1 alternate. So this is a good time for those people that don't have as many committees to jump in and close the numbers in.
I'm interested in that.
But you said it's not active?
So there's
What's happening with it? Sorry for the question. We're speaking out of line here.
well, no, you're fine. So the managing partner is the county. And they have a bylaw, and there hasn't been any meetings, so it's not disbanded, but it is tabled. There was a chair. They haven't had an organizational meeting for the year 2024. The county went through some CAOs, and there was no one to act on behalf of the managing partner. The assistant CAO could not have the capacity to do so. So in terms of what that looks like, there's an overarching document that is from 2017, a 10-year plan that runs to 2027, and it speaks to the plan for the region. We had a contractor, the previous committee, the contractor had another job, and so there was some changes in the committee. So there is a lot of work to do. There could be an opportunity where the town says, you know, the bylaw to 2027 is probably could be repealed, or the action plan. The town could say, please, county, you don't have a CAO now. Could we have it as the managing partner? There's some legislative things that we'd have to look at if we were to take on being the managing partner. There is a small amount of money in the reserve account that was not used. So there's an opportunity, and yet there's a few things that would put it at risk. So I think this new council, based on the last 2 hours we spent together, are progressive, and we want to have that as terms of economic drivers in creating business expansion, retention within our area. And if the county's not gonna do it, maybe we look at how the town can do it and go from there. There was a formal withdrawal from Wasetna in 2017. Why am I looking at you? 2020, and then Vilna was contemplating withdrawing, but there was the thing about the money and the structure and the model. So I don't want to say a lot because I don't want to get myself in trouble. There's some things that.
That sounds interesting.
Well, there was some things that were discussed in closed session, so go ahead.
And so this is something we'll talk about, but I have it slated for the first regular council meeting is a proposal through the ACP grant in conjunction with the regional partners, to look at establishing an economic development framework, which would look at a committee, either it's a rejuvenation of what's on the table now or a restructure of what that could look like so that we can potentially go forward. So I just wanted to let council know that if we're going to proceed with that grant, we can chat further at the first regular council meeting. But it is an opportunity, as you mentioned, to look at doing something different. So I'll have more to come on that.
Okay, and thank you. And so tomorrow is the county's organizational meeting. It could look different. They don't have a CAO. Again, different people at the table. And the model itself was that each municipality would put in a certain amount of money and they were able to hire a contractor, and it is led by the contractor. So it is a full-time position. The contractor reports to the board and works under the managing partner, but is not an employee of the county as a contractor. So that's the current model before it was dormant, and that's what we're today. The decision is to assign 2 members and an alternate, and the hope is that it would be revitalized. So after this long-winded explanation, I'd like to put my name forward as an alternate. And that leaves one more opening for the
Who else is on this one, sorry?
Bruce.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you go.
What are our numbers?
Bruce is at 11, Nestor's at 7, Dan at 9, you at 7, Kate at 5.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it to Tegan and start getting those numbers a bit better. Okay, Nestor, I will be the alternate. And then if anything changes, we would maybe reevaluate this. We're not setting anything in stone, we're just laying out the game plan, okay? Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
No one's voting me off the island yet? So we're gonna go on to regional emergency advisory. And it looks like it's by default, it's the mayor and the deputy, so that would be myself and Dan. Then we have the Smoky Lake Ag Society, we have Bruce and Nestor. And that's 3 stars. They both are paid to attend the meetings. And
Bruce is alternate at the Ag Society?
no,
I have Nestor as appointed.
okay, so sorry, Nestor appointed Bruce as alternate, sorry.
Great.
Sorry, and when you attend those meetings, for the Ag Society, we expect like a 7-page report, right? Kidding, kidding. Okay, Smoky Lake Foundation, myself and Dan. Smoky Lake Mineral Rights, that's so we have a company that has voting shares, and we have an annual meeting, so every member of council is a shareholder and attends the meeting. It's usually done in February, and the town is its own managing partner for this part of the company. Moving on to the library, we have Tegan and no alternate. The Pumpkin Patch Daycare, we have Tegan. Or sorry, did we get that?
We
far?
didn't get that far, but I would like that, yeah.
Okay, so there you go. So we have Tegan and.
For daycare?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And then I would like to be the alternate. And Okay,
I always have Nestor, right?
So then for the Smoky Lake Regional Fire Rescue, we have Nestor as the alternate. And we're looking for one more appointed. And those two positions will be paid, the alternate will not be. And that will be,
No problem.
it'll be okay. This,
Yeah.
this committee will be disbanded once the regional services follow through.
Which is
And,
gonna be fairly soon here because of.
sorry, is this the right one? That'll be, okay.
That's
that's
Smoky Lake Fire Rescue.
Okay,
That's the regional fire
okay.
moving forward.
So who else is on that fire?
This is the one moving forward.
Yeah.
Sorry, so this is the new one. So the previous assistant CAO with the county, she did a lot of work to get the regional services where they are. The committee, I didn't sit on it, but there was a lot of delays, so we're not there yet with the bylaw, and I think we're in default of the ground. There were some deadlines that were not met. So we're supposed to be reading a new bylaw. So this is the new committee, and then if you could refresh my memory, which committee will be disbanded?
I'm thinking it's not on this list. I haven't seen anything.
So there's another fire committee that we need representation on, because when that goes to be disbanded, we need to have someone at that meeting.
I think they're formally disbanded by way of bylaw, is what I was told at the ICC meeting, like there was. They brought up that question, so it was my understanding they were repealing it at the time of the regional one being approved. I don't have anything further, I mean, if we need more information on this, we can look into it, but that's all I know.
If we have the previous years, there's. The one is Smoky Lake Regional Fire, and then the other one is just fire services.
Regional.
Okay, we'll get back. Admin can look that up and bring it back.
So Dan should probably not be on this one, right, considering his son?
I'm not saying anything, but you're probably right. So I have Nestor as a primary.
I would be.
It's regional, it's not,
Oh, so are you?
it's not. The town itself.
Well, it's gonna be the two villages, the county and the
Yeah.
town. So is it, it's not for me to decide
Town
or,
doesn't employ on this.
What, sorry, what's the question?
Firefighter.
Yeah. So, sorry, what are you asking specifically?
No, I'm not,
Go
I'm just
ahead.
clarifying.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
sorry.
Comment.
Couldn't hear.
are you, okay, so,
Or I can stay away from.
well, no, but,
We'll put Bruce on there.
Bruce is on 12 right now. Bruce has a lot on his plate.
Bruce likes fire trucks,
well,
cause that's gonna be a big issue coming up here. The replacement of equipment.
There will be financial implications, so if you're saying there's a potential conflict of interest, then we should honor that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
so,
I could sit on that one. It doesn't, I mean,
Yeah.
with that, it might be, yeah, there might be some issues.
and yes, we are maybe out of, I would like Bruce to sit on that one. I attended as an alternate and I volunteered my time. I have some working knowledge. I would like to stay on as the alternate, but I don't want to take away from what Tegan in terms of democracy, right?
I'll just say, Bruce's resources, I think will be
Yeah.
very good on,
We're getting volunteer
Moving forward.
firefighters from Calgary, retired. Yeah, Bruce, is that a promise you'd like to make?
So you're the alternate on this fire?
Yeah, so to confirm, we have a primary Nestor, we have Bruce as a primary, and myself as an alternate.
Sure.
You okay with that one, Tegan? Yeah, okay. So then we're going on to the Heritage Board. It's up to 2 members.
You like it? I'm too old to sit on that one.
I'm happy to be part of that one.
So myself and Tegan will sit on the Regional Heritage Board. I previously sat on it, so I
Often do they meet?
quarterly. And the Heritage Board is its own board. It doesn't have a managing partner. It's chaired by Noreen Easterbrook and it's twofold. It has a society, which is the working group that qualifies for a casino, which they get their funds. And then it's the board is the governing body that makes the decisions of how to spend the money. And, okay, are we okay with that?
We both primary.
So there's up to 2 members at large. That's odd.
What does that mean?
Yeah, and no alternate. So yeah, we're gonna appoint, because it was Mel and myself, right? Okay, so 2 members, Tegan and myself. Everyone's okay with that? Moving on to the last one in the priorities, and then we'll move on to voluntary. So the last one is the Ukrainian Twinning Committee. We're looking for 2 members. You don't have to speak fluent Ukrainian, and the town is the managing partner. It meets quarterly, and right now we've had to pivot from some of our efforts because of the war, and I'm not sure what to say more about that. Go ahead, Carly.
You meet with another community in Ukraine also.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's in there.
Yeah, so that's the word, you're right. That's the word twinning, and the partner is in is Kosev in the Ivano-Frankivsk, the Oblast of Ukraine.
Is that the sister?
Yeah, it's a region that looks very similar to Smoky Lake in the just out of the Carpathian Mountains. And it was for economic development. It was a spin-off of that committee in the long range goal was to have people share life and job experiences and maybe look at getting newcomers to come and work and live here. The war already forced us to have that. So the committee itself is struggling because we have a bylaw, and now we've had the 2 villages, the county and the town. We've received written requests that Vilna has left the committee and will no longer participate, and Wisetna is staying till the end of the year, and now they have left, so now it's between the county and the town. So, and we do have a bylaw, so it's difficult at best, but meets quarterly and the work is important.
What is the significance when you said that a few times, it has a bylaw? What is the significance of it?
That's the governing body, or sorry, that's the discipline of which you operate under a bylaw. So those are the rules.
Yes.
And you need to follow the rules as identified in the bylaw, that who's voting, who's.
Turns around.
Yeah.
So some of these organizations don't have a bylaw.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Remember I said earlier, some are by MOU, memorandum of understanding, some are by policy, some are by terms of reference, some are by bylaw. And then commissions, boards, foundations, like the foundation has a ministerial order, so the government of Alberta establishes what the board must do and achieve, right?
Okay.
So does that kind of help explain it?
It's full.
It's full, yeah. Well,
I'm happy to be on this board.
2 members. Looking for 2 members.
I can.
Okay, got Tegan. Okay, I will be on the board as well. Let's move on. Sorry. Jeffrey, you want? Yes. Tegan, you'll be speaking to Ukrainian soon.
Awesome.
Okay, Harley, we're good to move on. You're on. Okay, Bruce, you're okay there?
I'm not gonna trust.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Let's move on to the committees, the voluntary committees. And so the first one is the Community is in Bloom, which we recently joined. Previous to that was Flower Power, and it's all hands on deck to help admin. It's things like making the town beautiful, deciding the theme of the year, the colors, and I don't believe we had any meetings last year. It was just because of our circumstances with some staffing and everything. So looking forward to 2026 and all the green thumbs in the room that will be on that committee. Going to the Smoky Lake Curling Club, 1 appointed, 1 alternate. So just to recap, you can have as many alternates, I think, as you want. You are volunteering your time. You act, so the primary is acting as the liaison between the town of Smoky Lake and the club itself. If you are a paid executive member, I discourage you from being on this committee. Like, say, for example, if you are a paid secretary at one of the clubs, like the chamber or something as an example, I don't think you should be a volunteer on behalf of the town. That might be a little bit, proceed with caution. So I'm gonna call out now the Smoky Lake Curling Club. I'm looking for one appointed and one alternate. Okay. So Bruce Nestor's putting up his hand for the curling club. Okay.
Yeah, I can.
So Nestor is the primary. Are you the alternate?
Sure.
Are you on the board itself or?
No.
Bruce, if you want primary, it's okay with me, and I'll be your alternate,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
Keegan, I don't know if you want this to be tracked or what you decide, but that's okay. These are all volunteer. And there's no harm in all of us supporting these volunteer groups because the nonprofits need our help. And sometimes it's just having that extra board member or taking an opportunity to volunteer yourself. So moving on to the Smoky Lake District of Commerce. Looking for one appointed, please. Keegan, everyone in agreement? Okay, Smoky Lake Cultural and Heritage Society Museum. So that's, I don't know that they have active meetings or not a lot is known, but I think it's valuable to have someone that might work. It might coincide with our museum, the CN station. So it's gonna be, I don't know, Bruce, I've got 4 hands up here. Who should we pick?
Well, I deal with Nestor, so I can take that.
Nestor, Ron.
Or,
Okay.
like Ron, sorry.
Darren. Okay, and I would like to be the alternate as well. I can help do some volunteering. Moving on to the pumpkin growers.
I'd like to sit on that one.
Oh, good. Excellent. I'll be your alternate.
Okay.
And because the town has a vested interest in that, I highly encourage all councils to participate. There is always a shortage of hands on deck, and I think we need to support this event. It's important to our town and get the buy-in from council and support it as best we can. Riding Club, Smoky Lake Riding Club, one appointed, please.
We always sell 50/50s there somewhere. They're pretty good.
Okay.
How often do they meet? Not that often.
I believe they probably meet more often when there's the rodeo coming up. So, is it quarterly, would you say, or?
It depends, like you said, before the rodeo weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, so
But not,
that's,
you'd be good at it.
Make sure you give Nestor lots of work, okay? Smoky Lake Rural Crime Watch. One appointed. Volunteers. Anyone's husband retired from the RCMP.
As long as he doesn't have to be involved, I can do it.
Are we okay?
Stays
to
away
put
from all of
Tegan
that.
Yeah.
Okay, Tegan's on there, no alternate. But again, I strongly encourage if Tegan shares the meeting times and anyone has some time, please attend. Again, just being present in the community and showing our support. So the Smoky Lake Jogging Club, I attend the meetings, but I'm not a volunteer on this committee, but I would still volunteer with the club itself, so I'd like to take that one. And there's one more opening. You don't have to be a certain age. They accept people that aren't seniors. And they meet once a month during the day, so that can be a problem. Okay, so we'll just have myself, and that's okay. The Smoky Lake Golf Club, one appointed.
Bruce,
Go there all the time.
you're a golfer.
No, I can't sit on that. I'm the president.
Oh,
Okay.
well, just stand up and then you can sit too.
Change hats, change hats.
Actually, technically, you can be representative plus a director or whatever to sit on there
President, oh.
too, so.
We just had that training on Monday.
Yeah.
And Reynolds Murph said it's.
I'll sit on that with Bruce if he wants.
Okay, sounds good. So we got Dan and Bruce. And we're gonna change that to two, okay? And no alternate. So then, wrapping up this category, the trail twisters.
Yes, please.
I could sit on that one also.
Do you have to have a snowmobile or what?
No, you gotta pray for snow.
Okay, we got Dan and Bruce and Tegan, if you wanna give us a tally or if it doesn't matter.
Okay.
We'll try this out, okay? This is new.
Dan is on
That's okay. Tegan.
3. Oh, you
Oh,
don't want me
no,
to do it or you
no, no,
want me to
that's
do it?
okay. I think right now it's a draft. We have a few things outstanding and Vin's gonna come back. And I think that we're in a good place. So based on, Carly, do you need any more information to come through?
No, I will form this as part of the minutes, and if there's an error or any discrepancies, we'll bring it back to the next meeting.
Thank you. So now we're gonna turn back to page 33. And the motion is, the recommendation prepared by council or by admin is that the Town of Smoky Lake Council approve the 2025-2026 council appointments to committees, commissions, and boards as amended and attached to and forming part of the minutes of the organizational meeting held on October 29th, 2025. Councillor Churn has that motion. Any more discussion? Any points of clarity? Comments? No. All in favor? The motion is carried. So going back to our agenda, now we have tabled the items. So we are going to start at number 4.1. What is tabled now is all of section 4, section 5, and at the very end is 1.7. Are we okay, or does anyone need a quick break?
Break, please.
Okay, and let's keep in mind that coffee and donuts are waiting for us at the bakery with Meet the Cops. Okay, so I'm gonna call a recess, a 5-minute recess. Okay, and I'd like to call the meeting back to order at 3:11. And we're gonna start with 4.1, policy A32-2023 proclamations.
So on this one alone, typically the proclamations are reviewed by council at the last meeting in October so that they can be set for the year ahead. I recognize that there is a little bit of work that may need to be done in terms of revisiting some of them or updating some of them, and there might be some perhaps missing.
What page are we on? Sorry.
13. 4.1, page 13.
Sorry.
So we have included the policy itself. I guess from an administrative standpoint, we recommend going through this as a full process in terms of how we can update this. So I would look at this similar to our other policies and bylaws that are requiring review and update, is that we would review this at that time to ensure that everything's captured accurately and comprehensively. Another alternative is that if council wanted to choose to not do any of the proclamations, that's also an option too. Some municipalities choose not to do them just for the sake of perhaps unintentionally forgetting some of the proclamations or some of the interest groups that could be represented or other groups in the community. So at the discretion of council.
Okay, thank you for that, CEO Fighton. We don't have a list of the proclamations, we just have the policy. And I think based on your recommendation that this should come back to council, today is not the day that we're going to be making a decision. And I think with new council, I'd like them to see the full list of proclamations and then decide where we're going from there. So the ask then would be to update the policy based on the list. Right now, I'm going to suggest that someone, Bruce to Nestor, that you're going to defer this to a future meeting of council. And the motion would be to defer the policy A-32 2023 proclamations to a future meeting of council to include the list of proclamations with the policy. Any more discussion?
Question,
Go ahead.
use the term, word deferred.
Mhm.
Sometimes do people use a table to?
Tables, to me, tables later on in the meeting, same meeting,
Oh.
for the future,
Okay,
or,
just asking.
okay, would that be okay then?
Yeah, that's
Do you
fine.
want- I can accept a friendly
Yeah.
amendment
No,
to
that's fine.
Nestor's. Okay, so in lieu of time, we're going to, it's captured in the procedural bylaw, but so we'll work through it as we're going along. There's a chart or a table that we can have the types of motions that you can make. So today is the first meeting. I realize it's hard and we can't know everything. So we'll work through it. We'll get some training involved. But for this point, let's just, there's accept, file, or defer. How's that for now? Accept the information, file it for information, or defer it for.
I think I was just wondering what a proclamation is in a general
Oh,
sense.
I just wanted one question.
And so, I'm just gonna actually, in the policy, it's actually listed fairly well. It's intended to help meet objectives or causes and activities which interest the community as a whole. So there's recognition of individuals, similar subject proclamations, and not-for-profit events sponsored by for-profit organizations are sometimes considered. But we try to recognize, for instance, our latest one that we did was for Family Violence Month, where we make a recognition of it and the importance behind it, and it's like an expression of the municipality's support for the topic at hand or the group at hand.
And that's the proclamation.
Yeah, it's like a a written statement, and then that council declares at the time of that month of recognition.
Okay, that makes sense.
All of November is Family Violence Month, and so we would issue a proclamation publicly so that the residents can see what our commitment and support is towards the subject.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if
I'd like
that
to
makes
see
sense.
those. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, so, and sorry, I
That
was,
really makes sense, yeah.
yeah, I was speaking on behalf of Dan with the wording of defer, so I thought you were
Oh, okay.
in context of the motions. I apologize.
No.
So now we have a motion on the floor. Any other discussion, questions, comments? Seeing none, hearing none, all in favor? The motion is carried. Moving on to 4.2, which I added as a late addition to policies.
Madam Chair, sorry, I should have mentioned too, with that being said, right now, the town would. I guess I need direction on that. Right now, until it's updated, I would recommend that we do not provide any public proclamations at this time until the list is approved by council for the year up ahead.
Okay, so Carly's gonna read back the motion. The motion was to include the list. So
Just until that's reviewed.
they're already on the website for the calendars, what's coming up in November, so I'm not sure what you're saying.
Okay, so we just leave them up for the remainder of the calendar year and.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted direction.
Okay, thank you. So do you want to recap the motion?
Just that the town of Smoky Lake defer policy and then insert number to a future meeting of council and to include the list of proclamations.
Are we clear? Okay, so that will come back to us with the list and this the request for decision as page 13, and I think the background is achievable, or it includes everything that we need to have to achieve a decision to move forward. Okay. So now we're on 4.2, policy A-14-2024. This was an attachment to our agenda package. There is no request for decision. I'm assuming it's a review. So I'd like to speak to this. There's a couple things for what council does, and this is an administration policy that was
Where do I find this if I'm just looking digitally?
It was the attachments to the email
Oh,
package
okay.
that went out.
Okay, thank you.
so I'm going to make two recommendations and then I'm going to put a motion on the floor. We'll have more discussion. And then there's any comments or questions, and then if there's none, we will vote on it, okay? So that's how this is going to work out for 4.2. 4.2, I'm going to speak on behalf of 3.1.A. So I'm on page 1 of 4 on that policy, honorariums, per diems, and expenses. It is my recommendation, and I'm looking for support from the rest of council, that 3.1.A, the mayor monthly per diem or honorarium will be at $450. It will align with the counselor under 3.1.B, counselor per honorarium at $450. And my rationale behind that is that we are one team. The mayor at this time, we're all learning. We'll leave it like this for a year and we'll reevaluate. I think even though there might be extra duties with check signing or anything like that, it would be my desire to have it align with the rest of council as an elected official. That's my first recommendation. My second recommendation is 3.2.A, and I'll read it out loud, $75. That would be the price for, or the cost for per meeting that is under 60 minutes. So whether you're attending it virtually or in person, my recommendation to this council, and I'm strongly looking for support from this council, that that amount from $75 is changed to $50. Usually meetings under 60 minutes do not require that length of prep time. And you're usually going to an organizational meeting or a special meeting where a decision can be made in 7 to 10 minutes. And you're not researching a lot. Administration has the task of preparing things, but I strongly encourage you to support my motion that's coming up. And at which time, after I place the motion on the floor, you can have further discussion. The motion is that the town of Smoky Lake accept policy A-14-2024 with 2 edits. Change 3.1.A from $650 to $450 monthly. And number 2, change 3.2.A, $75 to $50 as presented. Discussion? Comments?
I have a comment.
Go ahead, Councillor Scarp.
I just think that as mayor, you do a lot of preparation. I know you personally as well. And this has been said for a long time, in my opinion, the 650. And I think that also there's a lot of maybe pressure is not the right word, but the town looks as you as the mayor. And I think that's why there's that distinction between 450 and 650. And I just think that you shouldn't undervalue all the things that you're doing and that the preparation that it takes for you to lead these meetings. And I think it should stay at 650. I'm just gonna put that on the floor.
Okay, well, thank you for the comment and thank you for your compliment. I'm very committed, but I do feel that we're building a team and we all bring equal value and strengths to the table. So this will be for 1 year. We review this every year at the organizational meetings. So I'm asking for your support and for the various reasons that I've given you. Any other further comments? Questions? Discussion?
Comment.
Comment? Go ahead, Mr.
What
Ross.
I've heard from you all this meeting, like you're a wealth of information, like wowzers.
Well, thank you. But
Uh,
just a comment to the motion.
yes, comments to the motion, I agree with it, but briefly.
Okay?
And for that $75, I understand that that sometimes meetings can be 10 minutes. Sometimes meetings can be 50 minutes. But if I'm saying, if we're valuing time, our time, leaving our homes, going to a meeting, could there be a discrepancy between maybe a virtual meeting where we don't have to leave our homes? Because if I'm going to a meeting in an evening and I'm driving 15 minutes or driving wherever for the meeting, getting there early, sitting down for the meeting, whether the meeting is half an hour or 45 minutes or 10 minutes, it's still a chunk out of our evenings. So what is the point of lowering that if it's being set at 75?
So I'm going to field the question, and the point of lowering it is, as I've explained, especially this time of year, we go into committee meetings that have organizational meetings first, where they elect the chair or the people on the executive. And then it's followed by a regular meeting of the committee. So you're going to 2 meetings. So if the first meeting shows the minutes are under 60 minutes, you didn't have to prep as much for an organizational meeting. Yes, you attended, but the value is, I'm looking to try this on for size, and based on previous experience, our meetings were rarely 45 minutes. So those that are in that category are 25 minutes and under. So it's a lot of money. $75 is a lot of money for, say, 25 minutes. Anything after the 61 minutes, it falls into the category of under B is $150. So, and there's balance. Sometimes you put more effort in and sometimes you don't. So I'm looking for support of the motion right now, and I'm willing to provide feedback, or we can reevaluate at the next organizational meeting in October of 2026. Any more discussion on the motion?
What do you guys think? You just.
Well, we're going to, that's not how it works. So we're going to ask
just
for,
curious.
okay, we're gonna ask for a discussion about the motion and a comment,
And then you just vote.
right. Or we can go around, but those that have weighed in have weighed in. Okay, so hearing no more discussion or comments, at this time, I'm going to call the question and you can vote accordingly. And so again, all in favor? Okay. Any opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you. Moving on to 4.3. We have the procedural bylaw. And so I'm not sure, the procedural bylaw is page, it's 1 of 20. And I don't know if it's an annual requirement at the organizational meeting to review it, or why it was included.
So Madam Chair, if I can speak to
Go
this,
ahead.
I just wanted the new council team to have that in front of them to read ahead so that they were more understanding of the process of the meetings. It speaks to all of our procedural, what's the word I'm looking for? Procedural movements at this table. So it's more for information at this time, but what I can say is in regards to the procedural bylaw and the CAO bylaw, those were the ones that were more highly relevant at this time for council to be aware of. There are a number of administrative updates that we would like to propose, but similar to some of our other high priority policies and bylaws, we would like to bring this forward to a committee of the whole meeting dedicated for a full review, because there's a little bit more than what we can explain at this time for proposed updates.
Thank you for that, CA Fighton. So then we're looking for probably a motion to file for information or defer it to the next meeting.
We can accept, and then part of the framework I'll bring forward for the policy and bylaw review will be captured in what that process can look like for when we bring it forward. If you want to accept for information at this time, it was more just an awareness. That's why it was an attachment to the email instead of the agenda.
Okay. Councillor Kulak, do you have the motion?
Sure.
Okay. The motion is that Town of Smoky Lake will accept for information the procedural bylaw number 002-2023 as presented. Further discussion, comments, questions? Seeing none, hearing none, I'm going to call the question. All in favor? The motion is carried. And so council can be comfortable knowing that this will be coming back to a future meeting, probably in November, okay? So it gives you an opportunity just to read through it. If there's anything that we're going to be adding, which is probably later on in the meeting with the some of the information, that it would be a good reminder of what we should be doing at the meetings, okay? So now, if we're all okay, we're moving on to 4.3, the CAO bylaw.
So similar to this procedural bylaw, we would like to present the CAO bylaw as well at that time. I currently don't have any suggested revisions to that one, but again, we can flag it for a full review by the new council if that's desired.
How does that sound? So my one area for review would be section 8, to bring current the FOIP to the new ATIA. Okay, so that'll be flagged, that'll be coming back to council. The motion, Councillor Spark, that it will be filed for information or to refer to a future, let's defer it to the.
Just accept for info.
Okay, we're gonna accept it for, motion is the town of Smoky Lake accepts the CAO bylaw number 002-2023 with amendments to section 8 to replace the old legislation in the FOIP agreement to the ATIA new legislation. Accept as presented.
Thank you for that.
Okay, Councillor Spark, are you okay with the motion?
Yes.
Any more discussion? Comments, questions? Seeing none, hearing none, calling the question, all in favor? The motion is carried. Thank you for that. So now we are going to move on to section 5. And so section 5.1, council orientation framework. Go ahead.
So we will bring the draft framework up on the screen virtually. Bruce, we will share the screen, so you'll just let us know when you see it. We'll just need a couple minutes.
This package or?
No.
No,
And so, yeah, I just wanted to speak to it with council at this time, because it's a very draft document and a fluid document, and I want council to guide this framework, but I wanted to lay this out just to give council some insight as to administratively what we're hoping to bring forward to council and kind of spend some time so that we're strategically bringing items forward for council's awareness, education, part of the orientation process, which is typically, you know, a 6-month to a year process, all said and done. And so I've just laid it out in terms of months and the areas of key focus and some of the deliverables that council could expect. What I am hoping to do is that we can dedicate a component of each agenda at the very beginning to an orientation section where we capture pieces of this framework to help guide us through the process. So I will send this out, but I wanted to just keep it fluid. And if there's any updates, revisions we want to make as we go, I will definitely do that. And then we'll just use this administratively as we go through our council meetings. So starting with this month or next month, it's almost November. Continuation of what we're doing now, so that governance foundations and roles, and in the middle column, that's some of the tools that we will utilize to help guide this process. So of course, there's the MGA. All of our counselors at this table will get a copy of the MGA. We will also be sharing a lot of resources with council on, it's called the SharePoint. Carly's working on that. We will work with people if that's not going to be a deliverable format, but we're hoping that we can train counselors on how we can use it. It's a lot of resources just behind the scenes that are accessible. Some of the toolkits were already mentioned in Friday's workshop, and so we'll just put all of that kind of in one place. So November, we will talk about this later, but the council coming in is something on this agenda that we will speak to, and then a moment or an opportunity for counselors to tell us or at least tell the CAO what have the counselors heard over the course of your campaign. You were the ones putting in the hours and the effort talking to residents on the ground, and I think it's really important for us to understand what that looks like. There may be quite a few different priorities or key themes, but I think what we can do is we can start to put that down on paper and from there figure out where the key areas of alignment are and what we want to focus on as a group going forward. that ties into how we proceed with our strategic plan. Currently, we have a strategic plan that's set to, I guess I'll say, expire in 2025. So it's an opportunity to set that vision going forward, and that's something that needs to be driven by this council table. That can come down the road. That's a little bit depending on if we just want to make some updates or a brand new start. That determines how much resources are required. But at this point, it gives us an opportunity to just do what I call a council purge. So going into November, December, we start to get into our budget meetings, of course. This will tie into what's on the agenda for upcoming schedules of meetings, but we will need to pass at minimum an interim budget by the end of December. That can look differently depending on how we go through that process, but November, December is kind of dedicated towards making sure that that happens. So we would like to bring in somebody that can just provide, again, a little brief orientation process at the start of our first budget meeting. And just to kind of, like I said, educate on that orientation process. What does the municipal budget process look like? What are some best standard practices that we can follow? Do a review of our current financial policies. And then there's also some that are not drafted yet, and we would like to work on bringing those forward. So if you can scroll down, the financial reporting policy is one that we do not currently have. And so through an exercise with council and administration, we can come up with a policy that clearly outlines what this looks like. How does council want to see this information, and legislatively, what do we need to meet for those requirements? And then again, there's the best practices section as well. How do we report regularly our financial information? And then how do we dive into the budget process? As part of that, we have what's called an FAL list. So this is called the follow-up action list that admin will update after each council meeting as motions are made. It helps us keep track of standing motions, things that we need to bring back to the council table. So we'll take an overall look at what that list currently looks like. There might be some items that this council is, no longer wanting to prioritize or focus on, and that's fine. That's the purpose of the conversations with council. Council sets a direction for how we move forward on our key priorities and what we spend our time and resources towards. As part of that, we also have a capital plan. This is a really big document, and so we want to spend some serious time at looking at that, and that will tie into our budget conversations as well. I know the previous council and probably even the councils before that have worked on a 10-year plan. And again, you kind of have to pivot through that as you go through the years, but there's a lot of that I think is important information that will help steer our budget conversations. Also ties in this to the strategic plan. So then coming to January is when we can spend some more dedicated time towards strategic planning. So we have our corporate strategic plan, the priorities set by council, but then we are also working on a couple of other strategic planning exercises behind the scenes. Previous council, just at the tail end of it, started to work on a CN station business plan. So that's an example of one key plan, but internally, working with our leadership team in developing business plans for the department so that council can see key areas that we work in and how we operate within council's priorities. And again, that's going to need to be fluid depending on the strategic priorities this council sets. But it outlines those service levels, which is council's role. Council sets the service levels. Administration needs to then come up with the detailed work plans that are operational and make sure that we achieve those service levels. This is something we just talked to in these last conversations, but the policy and bylaw review. We have a ton of bylaws and policies that require some updating, some of them significant updates, some of them more clerical in nature, making sure all of our acronyms are updated, making sure they're on the right templates and those kinds of things. But with the significant number of bylaws and policies that need to be reviewed, what administration will do is create that high priority list so that, such as the procedural bylaw, there's a community standards bylaw, for instance, and we've been flagging those as we've been going along and just making sure that we have some dedicated time for council to fully review these, provide recommendations and updates. So that's why we wanted to look at having committee of the whole meetings, otherwise known as COW meetings, where that's dedicated towards that. And then from there, we would bring back to council as a whole for making final recommendations or approving them in their updated state. Team building, this is always something that's fun and exciting, and I think it's something that we don't always give it the attention it needs, but you know, I've flagged this for some time into the near future. Again, this is a very fluid plan, and I think it's just, we need to just be mindful that as we work together through challenges as a team, it is nice every now and then to just take a bit of a moment to sit back and build the relationships at the table in case, you know, things can go sideways. And I think sometimes if we get caught up in the moment, it can be straining on relationships. And as Mayor Proskauer-Zyrski has been mentioning, staying together as a team is really important through all of this. And so I'm putting this on the table in I think I'm still in January. Keeping in mind, we can bring this in at any point in time where we think that we maybe need to take that opportunity to do that. And that doesn't have to be anything significant. We can be creative with that. Evaluation of council meeting dates. And so you'll notice in one of the upcoming agenda items where we have a tentative schedule for council's approval, we've only laid out some suggested dates to take us into 26. And so we can spend some time. I'm recommending administratively, we don't go too far into the new year because we would like some time to probably reevaluate what that looks like. So we can look at that when the time comes. Discussion of the quarterly CAO check-in. So typically, and this can be informal, but a CAO typically will add quarterly check-in when it kind of approaches that quarterly mark with council, just to say it's an in-camera or closed session, we call it, where it's not open to the public, and it just allows council to have open conversation with the CAO. That's where you get to tell me if I'm on track, I'm off track, give me that critical feedback, and we can have those conversations. So the CAO also gets evaluated annually at the 1 year mark for me, which is that July. That's scheduled in further, so that's just the quarterly check-in at this point. So it should be done by the end of February as that first quarterly check-in, so I plunked it in for January, so we're aware of that. February, there, as we discussed in the ICC committee information, we have a lot of regional collaboration projects and framework that we would like to review at some point. A lot of that's going to naturally come out through the ICC meetings, and some of the information that'll be shared with obviously the members at that table. But I think there's some other things that we need to discuss as a council, just in terms of those regional recreational studies, for instances, and other ACP grants that we're involved with and are taking the lead on. And we need to just have some of those conversations with council on a regional basis. Emergency preparedness is something that also ties into that. We do not currently have a regional emergency response plan at our fingertips, but it is something that we're working on regionally right now. And so hopefully at this point in the year, we can share more of what that looks like. Joint municipalities, again, is something we've already talked about, but towards the end of the year, there might be more coming out of that we want to evaluate and look at closer. Come March, just kind of designated this towards land use planning and asset management. So we have a municipal development plan and a land use bylaw right now. There's some significant updates that need to be made to that, but we're going to come forward to council with more of a plan as to how we can use some existing grant funds to make that possible. So as part of that, we will review our overall grant tracking system for the organization, because we are heavily grant funded. Asset management is something that we currently don't have in place for the organization as a whole. We've started some of those conversations and processes, but we need to spend some allocated time. There are grants out there available for this. Whether or not we're going to be eligible is something that I'm trying to work on behind the scenes, so more to come on that. We also would really like to organize some town facility tours with this council. So an opportunity for this group to get out to all of our major facilities. Talking about land use planning, we do own some properties right now that we need to go out and take a look at and say, how do we want to develop this piece of land? And have some of those conversations. So that would form part of that. Yeah, I think that covers it. We will obviously have to put together a schedule and a map and get council's input to what that'll look like. April is when we have an opportunity to evaluate our governance maturity. So whether that's at this council table, revisiting some of the governance tools, it's a big job to be a counselor, and there is a lot to learn in terms of roles, responsibilities, and some of the tools that can help us as a group. So anything that's kind of, remaining or hasn't been talked about yet, we can do that at that point. This is where I mentioned the CAO evaluation process. I have a suggestion that's been shared to me through Alberta municipalities on what we should utilize for a CAO evaluation. I think right now it seems to be a little bit outdated, but there is a policy and procedure for that. And I'll just make sure we're staying ahead of the game so that we can bring that forward and make sure that we're happy with it before we get into when the evaluation for the CAO is due. Yeah, I think we captured that. There's a lot. And again, it's gonna need to be a fluid plan, but I wanted to at least lay out some of that framework for council to discuss. And if there's pieces here that you think are missing right now, it might be too soon, but I just wanted to demonstrate that administratively, we have that vision. And we just in terms of what we bring to the council table to work on together.
Okay, thank you for that, CEO Fighton. Some discussion or comments, questions?
That's great, but as long as we don't get bogged down going through all this stuff and forget about our real, like it's.
And yeah, and thank you for that. I don't know that this council has yet determined the priorities, and so that would probably look a little different.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
think first, what we ought to do besides dealing with the procedures, the bureaucracy end of it, council will have to sit down and come up with their own strategic plan and a direction of which way we want to move in the next 4 years.
Yep. Yeah, I think that session to purge like the what we heard coming out of the campaign is gonna really be what kind of sets the stage to enter those conversations. So yeah, absolutely. Council needs to decide what their key priorities will be in the strategic plan. And you know what, and if this council doesn't want to have a strategic plan at this point, that's also an option too. But
It's a necessity. Without direction, we're not gonna be just walking around with blinders. Sorry.
Thank you for that. More comments? Discussion? So I would, I didn't know what the framework would include. And I'm going to ask administration, was it in response to any type of legislation that this was developed?
no, it was just taking a look at our current key documents and some of the things that have been identified as gaps through like previous motions and council meetings. It just help us make sure that coming out of this, we have the tools that we need to address some of the things that have come to light, and they're all, there's nothing on here that is not, I guess, best practice for municipal governance is all.
Okay. And so in preparing for this meeting, I thought it would be, I didn't know what to expect for the framework, and I agree with what's been said. I believe that there has to be some more training. So in response to legislation that came out, Municipal Affairs put out a bulletin on October 17th that changing the requirements of training for new council. So there's 2 parts. And we received the first part in a regional setting. So I was hoping that your framework would have touched on that.
Oh,
So,
sorry, I didn't understand that question. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, it's just, I don't want to do it all at once, but when I reviewed it with legal, they did cover off the mandatory requirements. They have informed me that we checked all those boxes for the MGA requirements for training. that we just have to provide any organizational tailored plans and that's what we're working on with this SharePoint. And then we can plug those in as we want to discuss.
Right, so the MGA, they changed the section 2.01.1, and training is to be split into 2 parts. Okay, and so what I was hoping was at this point is, and then I talked to Municipal Affairs this morning. The second part is specific to Smoky Lake. So what is the town of Smoky Lake? Some project status updates, what are the policies? What's the way we do business, and it's the key things to Smoky Lake. So I'm hoping, I think 6 months down the road is too late, even with a tour. So I'm hoping to suggest to council that we have that training as soon as possible. And that might look like November 18th, and then we're in compliance with the MGA, and we have another training session for simple things like how is a timesheet filled out, what are the motions, how many motions are there according to our procedural bylaw, and I think that could benefit council. Maybe it includes a tour, whatever we can see now, despite the snow or the weather. So I was hoping that's where you would go with this. I think the framework is a good idea. But the things that like the asset management and that waiting till March is down the road. There's immediate needs that I can't gauge where everybody else is, but I think we need to have to make sure we're in compliance with the MGA.
And I've already run past the same lawyers that were at our orientation, and what they covered, they said is completely adequate, but they said what we could supplement is some of the key documents, which we are going to provide. It's just a matter of how much time do you want to spend on those. We can dedicate any amount of time. When I mentioned the orientation component at the beginning of each meeting, I was hoping that the first regular council meeting would touch base on anything that's outstanding. Like we're in the process of preparing department presentations so that it would outline any of the master plans, which we don't have many of, but any of those key pieces that are identified that are remaining from Monday's session would be also part of that, so. We'll be absolutely in alignment with the requirements for the MGA.
So, and thank you for that. It's just, so what has changed, and I'm just gonna read out section 2.1. The orientation training is mandatory for all elected officials, and the training is split into 2 parts. So what we received regionally on Monday is part 1, and then I think that's just my opinion, we would need something here at this level, and it could tie into, say, we're having our first council meeting November 18th. It could tie into something maybe in the morning or afternoon, and in just to see what the town of Smoky Lake is doing and get that transitional information. What is the projects that require a status update? What are some of the policies and bylaws that we will be spending time on? And I noticed that other municipalities are not in compliance and that they're doing this at their first meeting. So they're making motions to extend that date. So everything's completed by January 26th. So that's where I was hoping that's where we were going with this. I think that waiting till March is too late, but I would like to go around the room and everyone can weigh in. And my suggestion would be to have that training in November.
Have additional training? Or you meant as part of the first part of the meeting? Yeah.
Yeah. So the second part is the key municipal plans and policies, and that's the way we do business, the financial and budgetary administration, public participation, we somewhat covered regionally, and then any topics prescribed by the regulation, and then maybe even a town tour of what our buildings are and what we can.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that was remaining that the lawyer said that they didn't cover for that orientation section was the key policies and such, and that's why we were working on the SharePoint. So, because there's a lot, it's just a matter of how much do you want to go through in the actual meeting versus read outside of the meeting and then discuss further.
So it wouldn't, yeah, it wouldn't be a meeting, it would be a training session, so. But I'm gonna go around and if anyone would like to weigh in.
Sooner the better. Get everybody on board. Get down to the business.
Tegan,
I don't know, you can just carry on.
Bruce,
Yeah, I agree that we should get it going right away.
we just turned up the volume, so you're in agreement that we need to get this, second part done?
Yeah, we gotta get going on it.
Okay, Nestor? Okay. So, I'm gonna put just a motion on the table. And, I'm pretty much leaning that we're gonna have our first council meeting on November 18th. So in the motion, if we have to come back and do a friendly amendment or change or, withdraw the motion, we'll deal with that as it arises. The motion is that the Town of Smoky Lake Council, in accordance with section 201-1 subsection 2 of the Municipal Government Act, extend the deadline for completion of the second portion of mandatory council orientation training to a date no later than January 25th, 2026. And to include the, you know what, I'll just leave the motion at that point. Any more discussion on the motion? Comments, questions?
So in that second meeting, can you just, in the second training session you're discussing, can you just expand again or just repeat what you want included in the training?
Okay, so it's legislated that additionally, would it be okay if I just read this? And this is, anyone can look this up. This is on the Municipal Affairs website. It's the Information Bulletin 07/2025, issued on October 17th. For the changes, additionally, a second orientation session is required before or on the day of the first regular council meeting, covering the following topics: key municipal plans and policies, financial and budgetary administration, public participation, and other topics prescribed by regulation. So this is to expound on that. I don't know if that will take off the public participation. We did that regionally, but we are looking at what is key to the Town of Smoky Lake. So the expectation from administration would be if there's some capital project that is in progress, we would be provided with an update or the status of that, or the policies, the way we do business that's municipal specific to the Town of Smoky Lake. And I think that's, it's not gonna be a meeting, it would be a workshop, and I'm going to suggest a second motion after we go through that part of the meeting where it's schedules 5.3, we'll do, or sorry, 5.3, we'll determine the date at that time. Right now, we have a motion to extend our training to be complete by January. And the motion was the 90 days. Okay.
Any more question?
Go ahead.
Financial end. Nice to be in a class planning, but big part of it is we need to know where we're sitting.
Would it be convenient, or would you consider that we review that in when we get to 5.3, the schedule for the meetings?
Sure.
Okay. Any other discussion on that motion? Looking for comments, questions? Calling the question, all in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you, Molly, for that. And I think it would be a good time at that, whenever the date is, to maybe bring the framework forward again, and we can look at it in addition to the other things that were mentioned. So thank you, everyone. Now we're moving on to 5.2. This might also be a good place to take in the two tools that are mentioned in 5.2. The first one is the council agenda request tool. and then the council inquiry request. So just to oh, we're still coming.
Okay, well,
You still going there?
Are you not?
we're there already.
Go by?
Five.
Alright.
If anyone would like a donut, we'll pass it around. Make sure you can get some sugar.
Sorry, boys and
Um,
girls, I have to.
Oh, boy, what happened?
You got the smallest one in the business.
Now you get what you.
They're like tidbits.
Do we need a,
They're, then they're passed out as earned.
okay, so
Didn't make my money yet. This is the value I'm bringing to the table is like I started to go there.
okay, friends, let's look at 5.2. This was previously brought to previous council. There was a request for decision. And on September 15th, there was a motion that previous council wanted to defer this to the new council and to have, it's a tool, but it would be following, it was to come back in fall, and it would need to then, if it's implemented, it would need to be included in the procedural bylaw, because this would be the method by which we do business. So it's a communication tool. I think right now, we might be a little bit ahead of ourselves. And then going on to page, thank you. So going on to page 18, there's a new one that no council has seen. So administration has prepared the councillor inquiry information requests. So it's an alignment. So when you're asking for information, that we're not sending our administration all over the place, and that we have a template and we're all following it. But I would like to see a wider discussion. It's hard to decide something, and no disrespect intended. There was a tight turnaround time. We had the training on Monday, and then we had the agenda package, and then we're in the meeting today. So I would, at the request of council, I would ask just to hold off on making a decision. I'd like to see this deferred to the first council meeting, and then an RFD could be prepared with it, or use the same one that we had in September 15th. And it could explain it, and then admin could speak a little bit on behalf of that. I had the previous motion. So I'm going to turn to Councillor Kulak to get a motion to defer. The motion will be that we defer the councillor agenda request form template and the councillor information inquiry request form to the first meeting of regular council.
That'll be the motion.
Any more discussion? Comments, questions? Seeing none, hearing none, all in favor? The motion is carried. Thank you, administration, for that. And now we're on to 5. Pardon me.
Can I interrupt for a sec?
Go ahead.
I was wondering, can I cut out of the meeting? Cause it's getting late here and we gotta get our flights early tomorrow morning.
Okay, so we're going to do, if you have 2 more minutes, if you don't mind, we're on 5.3 with the schedule. If you, and we can follow up on where we land, but did you have any input with the meetings? It's the administration has asked that we have them on Tuesdays. I'm okay with the date. What is your preference for the time?
Even for myself personally, evening.
Okay. Starting at 7 o'clock?
Yeah,
6
like 7, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So Councillor Churn, you're welcome to stay on. We'll be determining maybe some budget meetings. Administration or myself, we can get back to you, but I hope you have a good night's rest and a safe plane ride back.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Good trip there, buddy.
Yep.
Blue Jays all the way.
Okay, so as a first housekeeping, so Bruce has left the meeting, Councillor Churn has logged off. So there are 4 voting members. What happens now if in case a motion is defeated or a motion that only has 2 voting members for it is deemed defeated. And when a motion is defeated, it is not passed. So then it is, we're not going forward, okay? Is there any other points of clarity? Just so everyone has some basic understanding.
Does it get deferred to another meeting or does it just not get passed, period?
It can be brought up again.
It does?
But it can be brought up.
Or technically you can reword, the content of the motion.
Okay.
So you're not voting against something, but you're voting for something. Okay, is that okay with everyone? Okay, so let's carry on. We have 5.3, we did some initial roundtable. We heard from Councillor Churn, he would prefer evenings. So let's look at the, where do I want to go with this? Let's look at the frequency first. So we have, administration has prepared some information for us. Motion number 1 or motion number 2 with scenarios. I think, for my opinion, for 3 new council, 1 returning and 1 returning, the frequency from now until maybe January should be every 2 weeks. Shorter meetings every 2 weeks, and let's make decisions that we can move the organization forward. Waiting a month, more time goes by, sometimes you forget. And yes, there is some burden on administration when we have meetings every 2 weeks, but for the first little while, we want to be respectful of everyone and gracious to our admin. There's some prep, maybe we can tailor them where the second meeting doesn't have reports or it's just outstanding issues. So let's go around the room. I'd like to hear your preferred day, date, and time for starting. So these are regular council meetings. My proposed is November 18th.
Page we're on.
We're on page 21 of 49. We're on 5.3, the 2025 interim schedule for regular council meetings. So my proposed dates are Tuesday, November 18th, Tuesday, December 2nd, Tuesday, December 15th, Tuesday, January 13th, and Tuesday, the 27th. And the reason that we're a little bit off on January is it would be very hard for admin to make an agenda for January 6th and have it prepared during Christmas holidays to get it to us. And then we come to a meeting and we're adding stress. Okay, so I'll go counterclockwise. Councillor Kudlak, sorry, Deputy Mayor Kudlak.
I'll be away from the 18th of January.
Okay.
If we're going that far ahead.
Oh.
So
you want us to have the meetings at your vacation spot or what?
sure.
Okay.
Excellent place.
You're hosting us, okay. So how does the Tuesdays, the schedule I proposed, are you in agreement with those? Are we landing on Tuesday?
Tuesdays are good for me.
Okay. All around, are we landing on Tuesday?
Yeah.
So Tuesdays are good?
At Pacific time, 7 o'clock.
Well, we're gonna weigh in, we're gonna, democracy, everybody gets a chance to, what's your preference?
Yeah.
Okay, 7 o'clock, so we have 2 for 7 o'clock.
I really enjoy, Tuesdays work really well for me. Are you proposing that we continue this until what date or just until we decide further? Till the end of January?
Well, I think that would be a good time to reevaluate, to start the new year, so that maybe the last meeting in December, we're looking at establishing February dates. So for the first 3 months, we're gonna do Tuesday meetings.
Okay, that sounds good to me. And I would prefer during the day, the 10 a.m. proposed time.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Rossiter.
I'm good with 7 o'clock is fine. These dates are fine with me too. Tuesday is okay.
So, I'm not gonna weigh in because I'm very flexible. So we have 3 for 7 o'clock and we have one morning, 10 AM. Okay, so even if I weighed in, it wouldn't, the 3 at 7 o'clock. What I'm gonna propose though, if for council consideration, our first meeting, November 18th, I would like to see that at least start earlier. So I think that would be a larger agenda. And we might even factor in if we could have the training session first, it would mean taking one more day off work. But if we had a training session and even a town tour, that could be arranged. And if we do something in the morning, we'll come back to that. But could we start that meeting at 1 PM?
On the 18th.
I'd just like to add, I'm just realizing now, as I said that the 10 is just a preference, but I understand you run a business, I think Bruce runs a business, so I'm totally okay as well with the later time.
Well, it's just, I understand what previous councils of the day have reorganized things for the argument of staff and everything, trying to juggle everybody else's schedules. But in past history, which is means of the past, majority of councils used to be business people. And that's what brought it to the level of time scheduling. Everybody had to work and then everybody had to do their housekeeping after the fact. So just, it worked out a lot better for me. Because of the logistics of what I do, it's just, and tell you the truth, there is no good time for me, because I wear too many hats, so.
I got you, Molly. I'm just gonna.
But evenings are the best.
Okay. And so, so I think,
This special meeting is like this November 18th,
Sure,
that's
we're going on.
more of a special meeting or elongated meeting, I'm okay with 1 o'clock. Starting early.
Then this way we can get a lot, sorry, Madam Mayor, but this way we can, should be able to get quite a bit done.
so what, so here's the risk. Okay, so we have regular council meetings, they start at 7 o'clock, okay? Then we miss the opportunity for delegations to come where maybe members of community or like Sergeant Doctor today, and maybe there's other delegations that would come. They probably won't be coming to our meeting at 7 o'clock. So there's some risk. So I want to try and find a balance. So maybe for the first couple of months, we while we're getting everything in place, to accommodate everybody's needs, they're at 7 o'clock, and then in January, we look at earlier start times or
How
Go
does that
ahead.
affect administration? Like, are they just expected to come to the evening meetings? How does that typically work?
well, it means that they'll change their workday, I would assume. So if they're working until 9 PM, then they're coming in at 1 o'clock, or they're banking the time in, and I'm not sure, if some are on salary, some are on hourly, so.
You need to take that into consideration.
There's a majority of admin that will have a hard time with evenings. That's part of what formed the recommendation. Childcare,
That's my issue too.
yeah, I'll leave it at that, because
Your argument regarding delegations or whatever, in the past, when we used to have the meetings in the evening, we never had any problems with delegations. And actually we had more attendance usually in the evenings because people were using it as their entertainment. And unfortunately, so
Which is not, yeah, always the best.
I just have to grab this.
If we propose this, or to bring this point up, if we are going to be hosting 2 meetings a month. And 7 works better for some, 10 works better for some, including the administration. Could we not potentially do 1 7, 1 10, especially when it's 2 meetings? And then that's instead of twice a month that they are having to stay in administration late. We could do 1, so it's kind of this little bit of a compromise. 1 where it's late, 1 where it's early. And then when we reassess, we can decide what works best. Maybe Bruce and Dan would say, okay, Tuesdays during the day, I can't make it work. Or maybe they might say it won't work.
Another way of compromising is rather than 7, let's, you can go to a 6, maybe 5, but that's still an evening meeting. Like,
Well-
more time to discuss things and that, it's, just propose like 5 or 6 rather than 7, but, yeah, rather than.
5 is.
Okay, so here's what.
Maybe 6, but it's just, you can't just.
I know, like for myself, I would, like, my afternoon would be cut short, but so be it. You know, work with it or whatever, but if it's not feasible, it's not feasible.
Go ahead.
Administratively, I have a lot of direct reports that speak to their reports during the council meeting, field questions. They are the administrative experts in the field. They have daycare commitments, they have other commitments that in the evening, it is quite difficult. We will not always have the ability to have people answering the questions that we need at the table. Administratively, we of course recommend 10 or during the day. There's significant risk that we take if we shift it to the evening at this point, is all I'm saying.
Well, you know, it's just reality here is we've got some business people working, like, it's pretty tough to have meetings starting at 10 o'clock. It's pretty tough. The odd one maybe, but pretty tough.
So here's the thing, so we're establishing the next 1, 2, 3, 4, we're establishing the next 5 regular council meetings. And that would take us to January 27th. So 1 out of the 5 will start at 1 p.m. So we agree that Tuesday, November 18th, will start at 1 p.m. regular council meeting. And thank you for that. And so then we're having 4. We're going to have 4 meetings to January 27th. And the hope is that because of the frequency, that we're going to be able to wrap up in 2.5 hours. So we're streamlining the process, one of which the second meeting will have no reports. So I understand what CAO Fighton's saying, that we'll just do people that report directly to you, we'll have to wait for those answers if we have a question. So I think I'm going to encourage council and administration, let's try it. I got you, just give me a sec. Let's try it and then let's reevaluate it in late December, early January, and see where we're going with this. I want us all to get off on a good foot. We're building a team and to be flexible and compromise. So how does that sound?
We're gonna try 7.
Let's try 7. Let's try 6. 6. For the 3 meetings that are December 2nd, December 16th.
Oh, December 2nd.
Sorry. So the regular council meetings, first one is Tuesday, November 18th, beginning at 1 p.m. Second one is Tuesday, December 2nd.
Sorry.
December.
Yeah.
December
2 weeks
2nd,
after.
and you said 6.
Tuesday, December 2nd. It's not on the, so Nestor, it's not on the options. This is gonna be a brand new motion. And it's,
That one will be at what, at 6 o'clock?
yeah. And So any reports that need to come to council will be done on the first meeting. The last meeting will be just a meeting itself without reports. So those departments that report directly, like fire, FCSS, Public Works, and administration, we'll just do it on the first meeting. Go ahead, Carly.
Like, sorry, for clarity, direct reports, like administrative reports.
Yeah, fire, FCSS, Public Works. Finance, yeah.
Okay.
18th, 2nd, 16th.
Okay, so November 18th, December 2nd, December 16th, beginning at 6 p.m. January 13th. 6 p.m. and January 27th, 6 p.m. These are regular council meetings. Next, we're going to move into the budget meetings. The recommendation provided is that the budget meetings would be committee of the whole, and they are a different frequency of once, they're monthly. So I would rather say, this is my personal opinion. I'd rather say getting together, starting 3 days in a row, like Tuesday, November 25th, the Wednesday, the 26th, and the Thursday, the 27th, and just have 3 budget meetings, pass the budget, interim or otherwise, and get it done, and let's move on.
So sorry, November 25th, 26th, and 27th?
That's open for discussion. That's what I'm proposing, rather than take it over 3 months. And even if we had if council's willing to go at a 5 p.m. start, we're here 5 to 8, and then we do the capital, we do the operational, and then we pass the budgets. So 9 hours, I think that would be, instead of one long day. How does that sound?
Twenty-sixth, 27th, 28th of November. That's what you're proposing?
No, 25th, 26th, 27th.
Okay.
But I'm looking for feedback. Sorry?
It's a 5 start.
5 o'clock.
I cannot make the 25th work.
I'm okay with it as long as everybody else is.
I have every few days that are like booked in advance, and that one is.
Okay, so the importance of doing this today is, as we are getting close to adjourning, it will be notified of committee meetings as well starting, so being in front of something is better than having to switch your schedule later. So what would you suggest then?
I'm really open outside of the 25th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just the one day that I can't make work. We could do like the 24th, 26th, 27th, so skipping a day between. So a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I just cannot make the 25th work.
Okay, could I suggest then 2 evenings at 4 hours, like?
It's, yeah.
Or 3 is better. Why don't we just do 2 days and then see where we get?
It's true. Would this be during the evening, or is there a way to do this during the day? Or
We're
where?
beginning at 5. November 26th and 27th.
I'm supposed to be away in the evening on those days, but.
Could we potentially do it in the day? Do we have to get Bruce in on that? Could we potentially do it during the day?
Well,
Considering we're doing all the meetings at night, the other meetings at night?
Well, that's the whole idea of structuring the meetings is so.
But these are kind of outside of that structure, right? These are the budget meetings that are.
Meetings, sorry, just.
So we're saying that every single meeting is gonna be set in the evenings.
I would like to see that.
I think we're gonna do what's best for all the people at the table and the organization. So we're trying it first. And by late December or early January, we're reevaluating it. And when we plan the rest of the meetings, we will factor that in, right? So if we're changing the start times, let's try it. Let's not set it in stone, but the next 5 meetings for the regular council meetings are in the, well, 4 to 5 are in the evening, okay?
So the 18th, November 18th is 1 o'clock.
Yep.
till midnight. or
No.
whatever.
No, so unless you wanna do a budget meeting,
Okay,
I was hoping to do the training. The
Yeah.
second training,
and then
so
the 16th,
18th, 2nd. December, you get that one?
oh, yeah, sorry, yeah,
16th that I've got for 6. December 2nd for 6. Right? And
so
then November 25th, 26th, 27th for 5. Right?
no, we're not doing that yet.
Right.
We can't read a consensus. We don't have a consensus for the budget.
Oh.
So if you look at okay, so let's go back to motion number 2 on page 21.
Madam Mayor?
Yeah.
It's not gonna, we can come up with the times, like the dates. It's not going to hindrance administration to make sure that they have all the information that they need to prep for up to that time anyways. So having those days like shortlisted a little bit sooner to see where Bruce is at with his schedule. And then this way, we're not tying, I know you're trying to build a calendar, but maybe with consideration, reaching the administration's work is there with the Tuesday meeting or Wednesday meeting or Thursday meeting. They'll have to meet the targets at that time anyways.
I think it's just the time we're debating, right?
Yeah.
I think in my 2 cents is that in fairness to the administration and trying to, you know, be a team, work together. They're open to the 4 night meetings. Could we be potentially open to the 2-day meetings for the budget? That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, and thank you for that. So what I was looking at is, and here's where I was going with this. So in motion number 2 on page 21, the budget meetings are requested by administration to have a budget committee of the whole. 3 budget meetings, and the last one combined with policy, and that would take place over 3 months. I don't think I think this council is focused on looking at what the budget entails first, if we have the budget, and then we can establish a strategic plan. I believe that would be the right way to do it, as opposed to doing the strategic plan and then seeing if we can afford it. So I think we have to put this first, and I was hoping that we could just do it within a 2-day period. Go ahead, Emily.
The only thing that might be restricting is the turnaround time. So like if we present a draft budget, or I'm not quite sure how that will unfold, but if we need to come back with additional information or make changes, we're coming back around, like they're back to back, rather than if they're a bit more staggered. It gives us opportunity to seek whatever additional information it is for quotes, for restructuring the budget, for anything we need to do. If we're wanting to approve it within that time frame, that would be my concern with back to back.
So, and so what you're saying then, we have a bit of time, and I was thinking if we had it 2 days of back to back, was one day was capital, the next day was operational.
That'd be perfect if we're able to, if we can settle on something and have it approved. It's just,
And then it could come back to either meeting in December, right? So that we're approving an interim budget by the requirements of the MGA.
Yeah.
So your suggestion on the dates and how does administration feel on having, do you feel comfortable with having that information by then?
by the 25th?
So we're taking the 25th, sorry, pardon me.
Oh,
We're
sorry.
taking the 25th off the table for Tegan. We're just looking at the 26th and 27th.
gives you guys close to a month.
Molly's thinking.
Pardon me?
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Molly's away for a bit there and then the conference, so, and then the regular meeting. I don't know if that gives you enough time to.
I think we originally suggested the 25th for our first budget meeting regardless, like I'm not worried about that, and we are starting to plug away at it, and Chris is gonna work on things while I'm away, I'm not concerned about that. It's just me physically being available on the 26th and 27th. I have a board retreat that I had shared with previous council, it's just a board retreat.
Oh,
My board of governors retreat, and so that's why I'm asking what time would these ones be at?
I do have a question.
That's good.
Oh, sorry.
just, so, give me one sec. So then what is your proposal to council? And it won't be we won't start with the committee of the whole meetings. It'll be a preliminary budget meeting for the purposes of capital and purposes of operational. There'll be a regular council meeting with budget.
So it won't be RCM. Right,
Okay. So.
My recommendation doesn't work for Tegan though. Like the 25th is kind of why I just put that there and avoided the 26th and 27th just for myself.
Okay. So, go ahead, Dan.
The preparation for the budget. We should know where we're at right now. So. It's I don't see where the dilemma is having. Is it that huge of a job? Just a question.
Yeah, through the mayor. There's a difference between where we're at and preparing annual budget for the year ahead, and council needs to guide that process. We will come up with a draft just as a starting point in terms of what we know. To date, we can do that at any time through a financial report in terms of where we are now. But creating an annual budget, it is a big task administratively. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have no problem being prepared for the 25th onward. We have a plan to make sure that we're prepared with a draft budget to bring forward. It's just a matter of the conversations that are gonna take place. It depends on what council wants to see from that point forward.
We have to understand your end on the needs besides. The direction of new council and then dealing with the wants too, so.
December 3rd and 4th? Alright, I just thought that out. That's just something that came.
Sorry.
Okay, second.
I
don't know, that first week in December, is that an opportunity to do more of those back to back as you had suggested?
We can go around the room.
Is the 24th off the table of November?
No, I'm good with the 24th and 25th.
Oh, you want them back to back?
No, but you're not available on
Just the 25th, that's the only day in November.
Just makes things cleaner if everything's, yeah, so
Okay.
you're aware of what there was on.
Right, oh.
Yeah, and then following up, so there's no. People
Oh,
don't
okay.
forget on. It just makes it easier even for myself
Okay,
to.
those December dates look good to me.
Okay, you can make December work.
Going by two views, you got background on this, so, you know, whatever.
Well, no, we need your input too.
Suggesting that.
We gotta see where your schedule is like and.
Yeah, like it's,
So, would that, so December 3rd and 4th, was that it?
So we have the meeting on the 2nd.
So then that leaves us, if anything, yeah, so we have the meeting on the 2nd. And then we're together again, for the next 2 days. And then if there's anything that's undone by the year end, there's, only the 16th to finish up, right? Okay. That's leaving it quite tight. So, okay. So So we're in consensus then, it'll be the third and fourth. And. Time,
So I'm not sure, okay?
yeah, go ahead.
If, would there be a chance to have preliminary discussions also on the November 24th though? Just one meeting towards that end of November that gives admin a chance to do more of that legwork in between, so that when we do come back December 3rd and 4th, they're more of a what council wants to see. Gives us that time in between to.
How does that sound to everyone?
Say that again?
So we do preliminary discussions on Monday, December 20, sorry, pardon me. We do preliminary discussions on Monday, November 24th. Let's go at 5 p.m. And if it's 3 hour, we can start.
This would be a budget, regular meeting. Would you call it a regular scheduled council?
For preliminary discussion. Okay, 5 p.m. and then continue on December 3rd and 4th. And then for the purposes of budgeting and that would be a 5 p.m. start as well. Okay, and again, I'm gonna recap. What's important is admin is the managing partner of other committees, and you will get busy with your other committees. So we need these dates earmarked in order to run efficiently and do what's best for the organization. We're in compliance that we have to approve our interim budget by December 31st. And I believe exchange capital is due December 31st as well, not just interim. But we can check on that later. So we want to make sure we're in compliance with the MGA, and the motion is going to look like, okay, so then my other ask is that we're meeting at 1 o'clock on November 18th. And say that meeting goes to basically 5 p.m. max. And some things we'll have to, if the agenda is quite full, we would defer it to the following meeting. And then if we went to 5 o'clock, if we had a lunch break or whatever and reconvened and did the training workshop, or is that?
Sorry, the training workshop, and sorry, what time?
5:30. Just to go over what does
It's
it,
on the 18th.
yeah. Or the other option is do the workshop first at 1 o'clock and then have the meeting following.
Birds.
Yeah. I think the goal of the workshop is to identify some of the priorities so that we know how, as council, even though it's preliminary or beginning, we unpack everything, as Molly suggested, what we heard when we were going door to door, and identify the key directions we want to go. Administration would not have to prepare that much, just the key things that require update. The policies and any projects, like what I could suggest, maybe say, for example, we should be in the near finished stretch of the water reservoir, just knowing that we're completed on time, on budget, and that new council would want that information. Is that realistic or?
Capital plan, something.
Or major projects, right? Okay, so how does that sound? Let's do the workshop from 1 to 3.
Is this gonna work for you, Carly? Because administratively, I need you here for this, the logistics. Okay.
What time did we say for the second and third? Did we agree on a time for that?
Yeah, 5.
We did. Okay.
No, second is a regular council meeting, it's at 6, so third and fourth.
Third and fourth, yes, sorry.
5. So I'm gonna frame the motion and then, go ahead, Carly.
Do you want me to just read that? I've been working my motion. Do you want me to just read it?
Sure.
If you would like? Sure. Okay. And then just for clarity, 1 to 3 is a regular council meeting or a workshop?
I'm thinking let's do it's called the training session. So not a workshop, so 1 to 3.
Organization.
Pardon me.
I just put organization.
Well, it's part 2 of the training, so let's go, okay, so here's the thing, November 18th, 1 to 3 is the training. We unpack everything, we have a half an hour break, and we start the regular council meeting at 3:30. And I can't see it going past 7:30. Is that fair to everyone? Because then if our admin is working from 1 to 7, 7:30, that's a long day.
Mhm.
Okay? So we're in agreement for November 18th. Then we move on to December 2nd, 6 PM is the regular council meeting. December 3rd and 4th, beginning at 5 PM are the regular council meeting for the purposes of budgeting. Sorry, I already forgot the 24th of November. I'm gonna let Carly do it.
1 to 3, okay.
Or do you want me
You
to
just
start
slow
again?
down for a second.
Okay. I'm gonna call it out and I'm gonna go slower. So Tuesday, November 18th,
Yes.
1 to 3 PM is a training orientation for council.
Okay.
Okay, part 2. 3:30 to 7:30 PM is the regular council meeting. Moving on to the next meeting would be on November 24th, 5 PM, and that's a preliminary budget meeting. Moving on to December 2nd, Tuesday, December 2nd, beginning at 6 PM, a regular council meeting. December 3rd and 4th, regular council meeting for the purpose of budgeting. December 3rd is capital, December 4th is operational, beginning at 5 PM.
That's both days.
Correct.
Okay.
Followed by December 16th. Tuesday, December 16th, beginning at 6 PM, regular council meeting. January 13th, 6 PM, regular council meeting.
Those last 3 hours typically? Around 3 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
They will be. And that one's beginning at 6 PM. January 27th, 6 PM, regular council meeting. And that's as far as we can go now. And you need this information, not only our administration to prepare everything, but then again, with your other commitments, whether it be work or committees or life in general, you need to have these earmarked or place marked. Okay, so the motion, go ahead, Molly.
Just a question, you had mentioned we wouldn't require admin reports for those evening regular, before regular.
I have December 2nd would be reports and January 13th reports.
Okay.
So, and of course, we'd start November 18th. So do you want to flip that around? Just do November 18th, 16th, and 27th with reports? Because I think we'd want to have a report first meeting, right?
November 18th and
So the reporting would come on November 18th, December 16th, and January 27th. So, correct. Okay, so the motion is that the town of Smoky Lake schedule the regular council meetings for November 2025 to January 2026. As follows. Tuesday, November 18th. 3:30 PM. Regular council meeting. Tuesday, November 18th, 1 to 3 PM. Council training orientation, part 2. November 24th, 5 PM, preliminary regular council meeting, preliminary budget. Tuesday, December 2nd, 6 PM. Regular council meeting. December 3rd. Regular council meeting for the purpose of capital budget, 5 PM. Thursday, December 4th. Regular council meeting for the purpose of operational budget meeting starting at 5 p.m. December 16th, regular council meeting, 6 p.m. January 13th, 6 p.m., regular council meeting. January 27th, 6 p.m., regular council meeting. Any more discussion? Comments, questions, calling the question, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Then we're gonna move on to,
That was painless.
okay, so 5 point, sorry, that was 5.4. We had tabled 1.7, and I think in lieu of time, I like the idea. I'm just gonna speak on behalf of this, and thank you for preparing the RFD and everything around it. Pardon me. This is new to council, and I'd like to have a motion to defer it to the regular council meeting on November 18th. My questions to administration, and it's not covered in the RFD, would be, is this a standalone document, or would this be a line with the CAO bylaw? Overall, the idea is good, and I believe George Cuff brought it forward. I would like council to have a wider discussion. And again, with it being 2 days to look it over and make a decision. It's something that I think we should have because of what it represents. I don't have an issue with the content. I just want to know if it's going to be part of the CAO bylaw or a policy or a standalone document. So, and that's the reason I would be deferring it.
Sorry, just to clarify, are we on
1.7. The town of Smoky Lake Council.
the council covenant? Sorry.
Covenant, page 3.
Oh, yeah, so I can speak to this. Sorry, I thought we were on a different item. The code of conduct is some,
Sorry, I missed 5.4, the upcoming act.
yeah, I thought that's what we're
Sorry.
on, and
Sorry. Okay, you know what? Let's just do it the right way. I'm so sorry.
that's okay.
Sorry.
Can speak to
I'm
either.
gonna blame him. Sorry. I lost my track. Sorry. Forgive me, everyone. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm on 5.4. We are going to go in order. 5.4, my apologies. We are on page 23, and it's AE-18 2024 public participation policy and upcoming activities and events, which is also included for the convention and trade show. So if I may, I would like to start this off first, and I'd like separate motions. I would like to know at this point, because of the timeline, and now being school is back, have we received any requests for Remembrance Day or any support for the Legion? And I'd like to address that right away, as it is November, and knowing that I might be away in Camrose. So I'd like to have someone like the deputy mayor fill in as a designate. Go ahead.
Yeah, to speak, we just had one come in while we were in the meeting. There was Brenda from the school who asked if somebody was available to do the wreath laying for Remembrance Day at 10:15 a.m.
On what date?
So I think it's right on Remembrance Day. I wasn't informed otherwise, so it would be November, yeah.
We closed for Tuesday. School, don't they do something ahead?
Oh, yeah, it would
I
be
just-
closed, right? Remembrance Day would actually be no school.
We'll need to get clarity then. I just read the
Yeah.
message as it came, and she came in while we were, or called while we were in the meeting. We also had a request for Métis Crossing, November 8th. This was a request that came in on October 17th. I did inform, I think her name's Sabina, never met her, but I did inform her we were in the transition of a election process, so this would be taking place, I'm just reading the email here, November 8th. From 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Métis Crossing. There would be 3 minutes, approximately 3 minutes of speaking time.
And it's a Remembrance Day program.
It's Indigenous Veterans Day.
So Tegan and Nestor, we're just going through, these are requests from the community or different agencies to request council to either bring greetings or lay a wreath or. And it's important to have someone on behalf of the town, not usually through administration, but through elected officials. So November 8th, we're going to have to check people's schedules and we'll have to do an email reply. We won't be having a motion right now.
November 8th is a Saturday.
That's a Saturday. So that's Meaty Crossing. November 11th, has the Legion asked us to buy the donuts or anything? Or lay a wreath?
Yeah, they are, it was mentioned, when we're in our election process, actually, they are hoping we will do that again. I didn't get a formal request yet, though, in writing. It's earmarked in the budget, is my understanding, to do that.
So then we won't have a motion on that as well, but we will have someone present to lay the wreath and that service will be on the 11th at 11. And I can send out an email regarding that, okay? And so the third one then would be the school. We're gonna wait for the date on that one, HAK. And
Yeah, I think in my absence while I'm away, maybe that's something Crystal can just follow up with to provide details.
and then we am I incorrect to assume that we'd want a motion to approve the training that we took on October 27th? On Monday at the regional training, or is that a council approved event, or it wasn't?
The only, I don't believe there were any motions made to that regard, but it gets a bit tricky because that's a transitionary period where you weren't officially acting in your council capacity at that time.
I got mine signed. I was sworn in.
It was something that was arranged before my time, and so I don't think there was anything formal for that. If you wanted to,
So that would need to come back to us on the 18th then. So then, I guess based on the recommendation that's in front of us, upcoming conferences, November 11th to the 15th. I'm not sure if everyone's aware, the conference is till the 14th and the additional training is on Saturday, begins on the 14th and then on Saturday. And so historically, people would either take the training or not. It was optional, so I'm not sure if we've already paid for everything or.
we have, but by default with the 2 cancellations at this table, we were able to get those refunded, and if there was anybody else that was unable to stay for the training, I would just need to be notified right away and do the same to cancel.
So is everyone aware of this?
So the training is on the 15th and that's separate than the conference.
Yes, it's the elected officials budget training.
Do you think that it's would be good to attend? Because I would have to do some arranging because on the 15th, which I'm willing to do. But if we don't think that it's like super necessary, then.
I think it's a very valuable course, that training. I'm like attending it myself.
Then I'll do it too.
Yeah,
I've taken.
it's changed significantly over the past 4 years. This is a new one, actually. They might call it the same thing, but they are speaking to it from a different lens, is what I've been told, and that's why I was interested in attending as well.
Okay, so my thing on this is it's the communication, so you can take that offline and work with Molly directly, but if you are taking the training, great. If you're not, please make sure that that's communicated to Molly and Crystal and Carly so that we're not paying for something that's not going to be attended to.
I won't be taking the training on Saturday.
Or don't do it offline, do it right now.
I'll do it.
Well, do it in the mirror, like if you look smart, then you make your decisions. If you're not, well, you may have to go away.
Okay, then the other, there's an event within the event of the conference. There's the host city has an evening event for the city of Calgary. Those are optional additional tickets.
Yeah, I had sent that to previous council, so we'll need to send that out again. We can send the full package just to make sure we have like the accommodations, the a dinner, and I think that might have been a Saturday.
So if we stay for the Saturday training, are we leaving Saturday or are we leaving Sunday?
Start,
Yeah, go ahead.
it starts at noon on Friday, the conference ends at noon or 11:30 on Friday, and then you go right into the training. And it ends on noon on Saturday. So it could be hotel implications for cancellation. So if you leave on Friday.
So I'm gonna recommend that everybody gets this information to Carly as soon as possible, if I may, Molly, I don't wanna overstep. But it's a hard job to organize everybody, so please let her know as soon as possible.
And the other information will be where we're staying and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you know, myself and Bruce will not be attending this conference. So let's move on to December 3rd, the virtual attendance of the webinar. The CAO toolkit.
Well, now we have something booked on that day, right?
Yeah. It was an Alberta municipalities webinar being offered, and it's just for awareness for those who can attend, but we now have oh, it's during the day, so there might be still be an opportunity that if counselors wanted to, we could look at booking this and do it as a group collectively, but we could also just share the information for attendance. There's no fee for it. We could just send the information out individually.
And it's the nice thing about webinars, you can watch them at a later date as well, okay? So we're moving on to the 29th of January. Who's hosting the local authority elected officials training? Who's hosting that?
That is being organized through somebody external, and it was arranged through the county as part of the
Is that like an Ian?
Cheyenne from the county orchestrated this with her name is Anne. And she's the new Ian Fox, is my understanding. So it is a 5.5-hour course.
Is it available?
It'll be regional.
Okay, so it's regional. And is there a Zoom option?
They were gonna check into that. I asked that. We don't know if they're gonna provide that, as it is a mandatory course.
It's mandatory.
It's through the MGA requirement. That's kind of a new thing, so.
Okay, so the motion is gonna be just to accept his information. I don't think there's anything that, I don't think that, in all fairness, we're gonna plan the Spring Leaders Caucus just yet. But we will take that into consideration. So people that will work with Carly to get them the information if you're counseling or attending, so that she has that information and so that no additional costs come to the town. I'd like to move at this time that the town of Smoky Lake, except for information, the list of conferences, convention, workshop as council approved for information, verbal and written report. And that's the motion. Any more discussion? I'm gonna leave out the bottom paragraph in terms of the facility tour and everything that could roll into the second training. And I think there's more development or more discussion on the council CAO meet and greet sessions and what that looks like, and that can be further explained at the training session if administration wants, or right now, or we can postpone it into the new year. It's just too many things coming at us all at once. So any more discussion on the motion? Go ahead, Tegan.
Not in the, maybe this is just a question. So the 29th is a thing I have to put in my calendar. The training on the 29th.
January 29th?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's nothing, okay.
Yeah.
But it will come back as a council approved event. Once this far away, what if the dates change? What if, okay, so we'll just earmark it. Our admin's very good at just having a list of what's.
Calling it?
Authority.
I'm calling the question or the
No.
motion? Page 23, January 29th, Smoky Lake, it's at the Curling Rink, Local Authority Election Officials Training, Alberta Emergency Management Agency.
It's the role that elected officials play in when there's an emergency in a municipality.
But it's not mandatory.
It's mandatory.
That one's mandatory?
Yeah, and we only have 90 days on that one as well. There's been a lot of changes to the MGA with these required trainings, but that's new.
Okay, So then, you know what,
So I can zoom in on that?
You're gonna let us know about that.
I'm gonna do a friendly amendment to the motion, so. The
It's-
verbal and written update for information, and we're accepting it for information, I'll wait till Carly gets back. And then the friendly amendment is to. Council approved for January 29th.
And the
Or,
October 27th, right? You wanted that in there too?
yeah. Okay, Carly, sorry, I'm going to do a friendly amendment. So the first part of the motion is as stands, except the verbal and written for information. And council approved event, October 27th, regional training. And I won't give the date in case it changes, but the mandatory local authorities elected officials training. Parentheses, Alberta Emergency Management Agency. Okay, any more discussion? Following the question, all in favor? The motion is carried. Sorry, my apologies. Let's move on to 1.7 and then we're getting close to being finished. 1.7, I spoke on it a bit earlier. I think that the concept is good. My questions are, is it standalone? Is it going to be built into the CAO bylaw? Where will this document live? Will we build a policy from it, or is it's brand new? So coming at us brand new with the other things, I'd like to see more development on it. So I'll make a motion or we'll give it to Dan. We're going in order, and I'm sorry if I missed people, that we will defer it to a future regular council meeting.
I move.
And let's have some discussion if administration wants to weigh in, and thank you for preparing it for us.
Yeah, this was something that was sent out with the welcome letter, a couple weeks back, and the reason why some municipalities are starting to implement this is because the legislative changes underneath Bill 50 is preventing municipalities from being able to enforce the existing council codes of conduct. And they are working on something more provincially right now. So we're kind of in a hiatus period in terms of what this looks like. So it's just a shared commitment between council and the CAO to just, as it says in the first paragraph here, uphold principles of good governance, integrity, and respectful collaboration.
Thank you. I thank you. I'm just, before we go into overtime, I'm going to, thank you. I'm going to call the question. All in favor? The motion is carried. 5 p.m. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Wow.